I like spaceships.
With MakingStarWars.net.
Hey, YouTube.gov. We're all up in your face, up close. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, Rob? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. We didn't do a sound check because we're pros. We don't need to. That's for losers who don't know how to do it. God, come on.
We're pros whose video will 48 hours from now will finally show up on YouTube.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
This show's exclusive for elites, man. We don't worry about that. It's like a pop-up. You find it and you're cool and you're in. Otherwise, you're out. Otherwise, you watch some other show and you think that like Revla's the main character and it was a main switch and you don't know up and down.
All I'm saying is for the people that feel that they're stuttering and they're having trouble watch why the show ingests into YouTube, our competitors are actively watching that stuttering video. Just feel good that they're struggling through it. You know,
I'm writing this down. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Rev main character. You know.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, always appreciate the super chats. Appreciate people liking the video, subscribing. If you want to watch it live where I don't think it stutters, I stutter, but it won't. By all means, do that. Unless you hate the show, in which case, don't bother. You're not going to have a good time. But thank you, Neil. And of course, I always appreciate the channel members and the super chats, especially channel members who super chat. What the hell? Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, so today had some friends coming out of town, coming down for the Star Wars celebration. And I was like, all right, guys, get ready. I'm taking you. And we snuck over to the Ahsoka set. Was there today. And for the record, I made a joke of the title. I called it exclusive Ahsoka feet pics. That's not wrong.
Quentin Tarantino's like, all right. Yeah.
All right. Finally, a Star Wars for me. Bestman Bulletin already had pictures of this set before. Here are the pictures I got today, though, and the set has been painted. It's looking a little bit less white. I don't know how to put it. It's gray. It's more gray now. There's a little bit more detail
like
on
Sculpey.
Yeah, it's a little bit more on the rocks, a little bit more stone-like, if you will. Here, let me see. There's another picture right here. I told Bestman I was going to pull up his article. I was trying to find it before we started right now. Couldn't, but I found another Bestman Bulletin article that we missed. You can see the pics at Bestman Bulletin, not these ones, but his own before. But like I said, looks like it's a little bit more, a little bit more details maybe on some of the cracks and stuff like that. And these are like looks like two giant boots or feet that will probably either be finished in CGI or I don't know, maybe it was like a Jedi foot worshipping place. I don't know, man. But
that was my first idea. It's in the first draft. That feet.
And yes, I did notice that the barbed wire is a little hanging right there, and I could totally.
That's where you crawled over, huh?
No,
right there.
I wish.
You fell over.
But yeah. So right here, I couldn't remember either. I wanted to see Bestman's pictures, but like I said, I didn't have time to find them. I was looking for them, but I couldn't. They're buried now. You can see it looks like on the side here. I don't know if that's just going to be like closed up or if it's supposed to represent a door. I can't tell though.
It's like a dolly, or is that where they push it? I think they wheel them out, wheels and lock them together.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But also on another side note, I don't want to. I think it would be disingenuous of me to push this concept far. Okay, so I'm not trying to push it far. But back when they were doing the first episode of Ahsoka and she was on that, the one where she meets Grogu for the first time, there's all those burned out trees. They had been saving those, what do you call them? Sticks, brambles? I don't know if they're brambles. What do you call that? Like giant burned up trees? I don't know. They're really skinny trees, burned up trees with no leaves on them. And they've saved them the whole entire time since back in the original since like the original filming. They never got rid of him. When I was there today, they had moved him around. There was a lot more, and there was some more on the side too. I didn't get a picture of it because it was just kind of not really that exciting. On the way home, I started regretting not getting the extra picture. And it might just be, they save most everything. They just put shit in big piles, and I wouldn't really read too much into it. I've seen, other people who found the location try to do that in the past, and it was like kind of eye rolling. So I don't want to do that. But I am just going to throw it out there that there is a chance they've saved all of those the entire time to revisit that planet. And if that is what they are in fact doing, we could see part of the story talk about what Ahsoka was doing before she intersected with Mando. Even there may be stuff that kind of like, goes parallel or something. I don't know though. I kind of doubt it, but I just thought I would throw that out there just to, let fans ruminate and let our little imaginations think about it, because it might be a thing. But yeah, the set though is it's weird, a lot smaller than I thought when I saw it originally. It looks like it can be, it might be like really big, like when I saw the Bestman Bulletin pictures the first time, like that right there. I imagine that was like bigger than my house. That probably like 9 feet tall. Maybe it's not that big. Actually a hell of a lot smaller than I thought. So
Forced perspective, though.
Sure.
You never know.
In the show, yeah.
Works. If you see on that Volkswagen commercial, like they have a little rock with the Jawa that's on the set, and and then when they pan through, like it's set up with the perspective to look bigger when you set the camera at a certain angle, like all those tricks they do.
But for what it's worth, there's not much room in there. I almost feel like when I could be wrong, obviously. I'm guessing as well as anyone else, but looking down on it from where I was, it did look a bit like they would have to maybe be crawling over this shit. Like I almost expect them to be like crawling through it. There wasn't like a lot of floor space to be, doing flips and somersaults and shit, and like setting up cameras and having like a lot of space. So I'm not really sure what to expect. It's not abundantly clear how they're going to film this or what they're going to be doing on it. Usually you see a set in these things, like when we saw Book of Boba Fett, everything was a courtyard. Every single set was a courtyard. This one's not a courtyard. This isn't like a courtyard with some feats in it.
This is most of the show was a courtyard.
It was a lot of courtyards. It was like, yeah.
It's a farmer's market, essentially.
Courtyards are the key to respect. I mean, we need to accept it. Okay. Then on
Courtyard Marriott is also my favorite hotel. What? I don't know. Ties in.
I'll take it. I'll allow it.
Good cucumber water right in the front.
So this video leaked onto Reddit today, and it's a German Obi-Wan Kenobi behind the scenes clips. When it was sent to me, it doesn't have any audio. I don't think we're missing anything not having the audio. It was probably in German anyway if it was. But it's an Obi-Wan Kenobi behind the scenes German clip. I took the video, I'll let it play normal, and then I slowed it down. I put it down to like really slow speed so it'll play twice. So Rob, make sure you unmute yourself once the clip starts if you want to talk, because you can talk, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been to Germany. You were in Germany when you were in the military, right?
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I like to eat pommes frites with my Kenobi.
So you probably have some insight. Here we go.
Hey, it didn't mute me.
Oh, it didn't mute me that time either. That's good. Probably because it doesn't have sound, but yeah.
Oh, parkour.
Yeah, look at that. There's
an alien. Starfish face.
Yeah, see, like, all right. So this is it, like really slow now. Like I said, I made it like so we could talk over it. Really look.
I do like.
Is this Nari
in the footage? That doesn't look like Tatooine to me.
It doesn't look like Tatooine necessarily to me either, but
that looks like Kum Janari.
Yeah, is that Kamal Nanjiani?
Kamal, yeah,
Nanjiani.
Haja. Thank you.
Haja.
Horrible with names, folks. That's not because he's got a foreign name. If his name was Doug, I'd be fucking that up too.
Doug Space Weaver.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stormtrooper. Look at
His
that.
fifth brother, Stormtrooper.
Fifth brother.
Looks like what's her name? The fourth sister, I think, is her name. I can't remember now. But yeah, she's not important, like I said.
He's been drinking a little bit, the fifth brother.
Yeah, he is.
Look at the parkour.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm doubting helicopter lightsabers a bit based off of some of this. I mean, because why wouldn't you use helicopter lightsaber all over this shit? If you could. That's what I would do.
Budget.
Budget in. You like the courtyard mayor? I like the budget in. But
Oh, nobody the budget is. What are you? Hooker material,
hey,
buddy.
you know,
Starfish.
hey, we don't. What we're gonna be doing in there? We don't need a nice room. Yeah, that alien's kind of dumb. No, that's all right.
And then that alien's right out of something that would have been in the Mos Eisley canteen in 77.
Is this Dayu? Is this Dayu right here, or is this Underground and Jabim? See, they cut to Dayu here, but when they cut back to the droid, like hitting the stormtrooper, I'm not positive. That's why I'm asking. I'm not really trying to make a statement about it being one or the other, but I'm looking at it when he, the droid, when Ned hits the guy right here, like look at the ceiling. It almost looks like it could be like the underground sinkhole base, but the video is really compressed and shot on a cell phone.
The volume looks cool on Nur when they're all just on set, just like from a set perspective, you know? Like,
yeah,
like that does look pretty cool.
Yeah. Darren says, "Hello there. See, what he did there is what we call a callback. That's a callback to a guy you might know. His name was Doug Kenobi." Darren says, "Did you see
fan servicey?
Little fan servicey. Did you see Disney Plus drop a recommendation on must watch before the Kenobi show? Interesting, the episodes of the Clone Wars they are telling fans to watch before Kenobi drops." Yeah. So and then he follows it up by saying, "Actually, sorry, it was Star Wars that dropped it, not Disney Plus." I gotta say, two things. I didn't see it, but I did hear about it, so I don't know who wrote it, and not knowing who wrote it really has a lot to do with who knows what, and what they've seen. So there's a good chance the person at StarWars.com who wrote that article hasn't even seen Kenobi. There's probably a good chance that's the case. And I will say, somebody, I think it might have been Bespin going, "Hey, they're recommending the Satine arc." Was that you, Bespin? Are you here? I don't know if Bespin's here. Might be working or something. But if they are recommending the Satine arc, I have to say, I do not expect that to have any significance whatsoever, other than the fact that in it we hear a little bit of Qui-Gon Jinn, we hear a little bit of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So does it enhance your experience? You could argue that it does. And that's a justification for making a article that you really don't need, but for making content because it's your job. That's my take on it. Just like anybody who does a top 7, top 13, top 14, anything, it's always a waste of your fucking time. I say don't fall for it. I would say don't read into it, and I'd say, but if it makes it better for you, by all means, enjoy, you know. And I bet you they didn't suggest the worst episodes. I bet you they suggested the best Kenobi episodes, and that could be a fun thing, just like to watch the best Kenobi episodes and then watch the show. So I'm not knocking it. Darren goes on to ask, "I wonder some fans' expectations could be let down. The ones who are expecting a ton of Clone Wars flashbacks with Anakin and Kenobi and Clone Wars armor." Yeah, actually, I was talking to Star Wars Meg yesterday, and she was like, "These people that aren't following the leaks at all, they're setting themselves up for some massive, massive disappointment." And I didn't see what she was talking about, but I can imagine. Well, what it is that Star Wars is everything to everybody, and different things to like different people. Like there's probably somebody who's expecting Darth Maul to show up based off of the bogus article.
I was expecting the Clone Wars and the prequels, and look what I got.
See? Yeah, they still can't get over
Stupid me. What was that?
But it's, you know, yeah, it's like once again, that's why I like leaks, because if I didn't know anything about this, like in my head, I'm thinking Cody's going to be there. What's Cody up to? But I'm also going to roll it back a little bit. If you really think hard about it, what do Cody and Kenobi have to say to each other based off of the history? I'm sorry. Then what? Then after he says he's sorry, then they would have to start adding stuff because there's really nothing between Cody and Kenobi that's not just fans have picked up on through comics, cartoons, and the ancillary materials. And so that would now mean we would need time to build a Kenobi Cody relationship. It just doesn't really actually truly make a lot of sense.
Well,
other than all of a sudden he comes in, he's like, I'm here to rescue you. Blah! And then he gets killed and he's like, well, he did save me. I guess we're even. I mean, it would just ultimately not be worth it.
Jason, we don't have to look any further than the Book of Boba Fett for people having no idea what's going on in a series and over expecting Crimson Dawn will be a big deal. Rex will show up. The Bad Batch, Omega, he'll find out about Omega. Like none of it.
Yeah.
None of it happened. The only one that anyone called was crawl out the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. And that was never
it.
a secret. I mean,
well, that was a given.
It was a given.
Gonna have to get out that fucking pit.
Gonna have to get up sometime. Yeah.
So that's it. So that's why, I enjoy knowing what's coming ahead on Star Wars, so I can have a good framework where to put my imagination toward. What these scenes will play out like. What are the things I'm not seeing in between the leaked info? Otherwise, you just end up. It's such a vast universe. Maybe it's also because our generation spent so much time playing with fucking Star Wars toys, imagining adventures, imagining what will happen, plus the long wait between films.
Yeah.
As part, we've always over imagined,
True.
Do you think a lot of people are really overhyping or trying to overthink Jedi Survivor? What that's about? Or you think they have no clue? I just want a more game. You know what I mean? Do they do the same thing for games?
I don't think so. I think with games, they're they just know that they're going to get more of what they want. That's my read of it. I honestly, though, outside of Bespin Bolton, who's just a big gamer, I don't really know anybody personally who's like that's their big jam. Or my son, my 8-year-old son, but he just wants to beat up shit with the lightsaber and find glitches. He just loves it. That's just what he likes to do.
Gamers tend to just want more content. Is it a 40-hour or a 100-hour game? Is it hard or difficult? That's basically it. Does it look next gen or doesn't it? But it's just weird, though, because then they want the story to be canon. You would think, I want Cal Kestis to fucking blah, 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 and to hook up with these people. And they never think about it in that way, the way they do the films, right? It's weird. But
yeah, and they want everything to connect, but then the emphasis on those connections is usually what's half baked in the imagination. You don't think of all that, what it takes to get a character there and to make it make sense. For instance, when Ahsoka Tano shows up in Mandalorian, it's great, right? But it's fine because that's an ongoing series that's going to continue to be able to just have these characters intersect and meet and grow apart or whatever. But Kenobi doesn't have that time. Kenobi's not like that.
I think they take for granted too, Jason, what the MCU does with connecting things. I think they see that looking easy. The Wanda had her show and then it connects to Doctor Strange and that's easy. You just do it. No, it's incredibly difficult to make that happen. Yeah. There's a list of 100,000 people at the end of that credits. You know what I mean? And there's a bunch of people that aren't in that credits that also had to do with approving shit. You know what I mean? Publicists, people who arrange schedules, but then they get sick. It's so difficult to make this stuff happen.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form. That when it works, they go, oh, it's natural. That's just how it's done. Oh, sure. Try to get your friend to come over on time on a Saturday and see how that works. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we had the kid. My daughter's birthday party last week outside, and just trying to get kids from school to show up with their parents. The kids all wanted to come, but the parents, most of them suck.
We can't even get the show to ingest on time. So.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with. And Rebrum, thank you for liking the video. I appreciate it. Yeah, something's going on. Like when it's on, it's fine, but then I think it's like when it records to YouTube. I don't know. It just does something weird. But if it keeps
Well,
doing
it goes through StreamYard, and then StreamYard, and it goes into YouTube's ingestion servers. And I've experienced streaming my own stuff through Restream, StreamYard, and even that other place we're using before.
is that when it converts it to different resolutions and shit?
And it has to also process through their filters, and that filter is also doing its own little algorithmic check for content. You know what I mean? Like, and it just sometimes they're fast, some people are back. It's rando. And there was a period of time on some of my videos where it was taking like 2 days for stuff to appear.
Yeah.
And so you'd be like, I recorded it. Then when it would show up 48, 24 hours later, it would be like, we're streamed 21 hours ago. Like, and I was like, so that's what that is. So what we might have to do, I mean, we're talking about this here on the stream, but why not, is we might have to just, you might have to delete this when we're done and then manually upload the video, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but then we lose all the views, but that might be the only way, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've heard that it prefers to push the non-stream videos a lot anyways, so who knows?
Yeah.
But
I've also got 23 views on video I uploaded versus the 2,000 I would get on a stream, so I don't know what that means, you know. Like,
it's almost like if you call a video exclusive Ahsoka feet pics, it just doesn't get pushed out. I don't know what's going on here.
I need to work on my Quentin Tarantino impersonations. You know, video archives, feet. You know, Ahsoka, pretty good. Like I gotta learn to speak really fast. Like I'm not good at that.
Yeah. It was cool seeing that Ahsoka set today though. It was nice. Cool. I hadn't been down there like personally.
And it's a reality now.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's really happening. So this time next year we should get it around May, I figure. It's always a year, right?
It can be, but like in my opinion, Andor's just sitting there, man. Andor's likely been done for quite a while. I could be the only where the place where I could be wrong is that Andor didn't do the volume as much, if at all, and use a lot of practical sets. So Andor may have a longer visual effects turnaround time.
And with COVID visual effects delays, that probably didn't help.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of problems with that right now.
So that's a really very real possibility there. But I still have to imagine
if we had like a Cinefex magazine to explain this shit. Like, I gotta tell you, dude, the thing that broke my heart,
a Vanity Fair article, maybe.
Other than the million people plus who've died of COVID, the other thing that breaks my heart about COVID is Cinefex dying, because they covered everything. Mando was their last issue was Mando, so it's like this was the place where we would have got the breakdown on how that happened. You know?
I mean, not around the world, but 1 million Americans died and Salute Plantation. Think about it.
Honestly, if they say 1 million, it's 2. Like, just letting you know, folks.
Well, early on during the pandemic, there was about 400,000 people that Trump didn't count, and I don't know if they ever made up for that and actually got that in or not. So
that means there's 800,000 in, which puts us at double. Like whatever number they give us, I've just learned this about anything. When the government hands you a number, double it.
Mm-hmm. Like because
they're doing Twitter, tricks to get that number down.
When Twitter says that they only have 5% bots, it's like 25% bots.
25 to 35%. Yeah.
Oh, Luke, because you got the same name as my son and my little childhood hero, I'm gonna give you one.
Haja.
Oh, and you know what? Here's a bonus one for you.
Sorry, Nari.
Is it haha like you said? Like it's the Hispanic version of the J? It's haha.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to listen to what was it called? Like Dagobah Digest or whatever Entertainment Weekly is calling it, Star Wars podcast.
I'm not doing that. Could not pay me. Even $1. It's not worth it.
I mean, it's probably not a bad podcast. It just, Yeah.
I know, but I'm putting my foot down.
My hope is that anybody starting a Star Wars podcast today drops like radio, like unless you're being like nostalgic on purpose or something.
Oh, they use that? They use radio in their title?
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, this is Making Star Wars Radio. And it's like,
can we be Making radio? Star Wars compact disc?
I would say, my take is we're making Star Wars Victrola. At that point, might as well fucking go all the way back, you know?
Making Star Wars speak and spell. We could get that voice.
Yeah.
It's got to be an easy voice to emulate.
Luke Miller says the Grand Inquisitor looks fine to me. I would love at least a couple screens of him in Sith eyes. Yeah, I think it looks fine.
Luke.
I think it looks fine too. No, I mean, truly. I'll put the video back up. Hopefully it doesn't mute us. But yeah, personally, like when I see him in the shots, I really don't think he looks bad. Do I think he looks like the guy in the cartoon, like a 1-to-1, what my brain does when it extrapolates upon that? No, it doesn't. I see what they did.
I only saw him briefly behind Deborah Chow in any of this footage, though.
Yeah, he comes up right here. He comes up here in a second.
That's Haja.
But
Haja's gonna get to watch this. He's gonna get the Haja slap. He's gonna be like, Haja. Boosh.
And
nope. That's the fifth brother. That's not even him.
No, he is in it though. But anyways, yeah, and I think that looks like Nanjiani, but I'm not even convinced that's Nanjiani yet. But I'm always super cynical, you know.
I'm willing to go into court and stake his life on it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's stake his NDA on it.
No, just his freedom, you know. I'll testify against him.
Yeah. How's it going, Salvador? Salvador says the recent
should be all right.
The recent interview to Kathleen Kennedy explains the future for Star Wars, but the recent rumors about the sequel characters can't fit in the plans for the future. What do you think? I don't think that's necessarily what any of that means personally. I mean, like what's filming right now is mostly what they're talking about, but we know what they're filming into like early next year. But when we get to actual like 2023, the stuff that's really going to be filming for the most part, that stuff can be, I mean, Acolyte's on there, but Acolyte's been like one that's been like early in the bag, if you will, not in the bag, but on the docket, I guess you would say. And so when you put all of that together, my take is we don't really know what the middle to later half of 2023 content might be, other than Andor 2. Acolyte will be filming into them, but most of it I think could be done this year. So
I don't really think they consider the Skywalker saga Rey, even though she calls herself Skywalker. I don't think that's the Skywalker saga to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Skywalker saga to them is Luke Skywalker. And
episode 1 through 9 is the Skywalker saga. Because it has them in it.
Skywalker's kid and whatever.
Because it has them in it. Yeah. And that's just like how modern Lucasfilm was divvying those up. Personally, in my opinion, if they don't start doing the episode titles for future sagas, like for instance, right now when we have the Mando, it's chapter 1. It's not Mando episode 1, it's chapter 1. It's Kenobi chapter 1. They're doing this little storybook fucking bullshit instead of doing episodes. And so I mean, I don't care.
Tape A. All right.
Wait, what did you say?
You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear R2-D2 beep like this.
That's also what you sound like if you eat a lot of hot sauce on intermittent fasting.
Yeah, so they're not doing that, but if they so I'm kind of wondering, like, when the Game of Thrones guys, for instance, were going to have their own show, their own series of films, was that going to be in episode 1? But if they don't do it, I don't see the Skywalker saga subtitle actually lasting, because what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? In a certain way, anyways, it's like nobody gets confused about what episode 3 is. You don't need another title. We don't need to add a third fucking title to it. You know what I mean? Right. Star Wars episode 1, the Star Wars, the Skywalker saga episode 1, the Phantom Menace. Enough. I got enough titles. I am good. So
look, can we stop putting saga in things too?
Saga.
Because you can't say you're not supposed to take it so serious, folks. It's just a little movie and then call yourself a saga. Just
Yeah.
you know, like Saga is not a little word.
If they keep doing it, let's call it Saga, just to be that guy.
Saga. Saga.
But yeah. So anyways, if they pick that back up, then I could see it sticking. But if they don't, I don't see that holding out, except for like this last release of all 9 films that they did. Then eventually I think it'll just become something else. So yeah. Hey, how's it going, Daniel Fisher? People don't know, but Daniel Fisher is actually Carrie Fisher in hiding. Yeah, it's true.
Knew it.
Yeah, wanted to get away from the whole Star Wars life. Had
She's
too
been
much
hanging
of
out
it.
with JFK Jr. the whole time.
She's actually running for Secretary of State. She's gonna be Secretary of State. She's lobbying that under JFK Jr. Luke Miller said
Ambassador to Belgium, or one of those fucking weird things.
Oh yeah, I wanted to hit on the Sith eyes concept. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before. He has the Sith eyes, as we call it, the yellow eyes, a lot in Rebels when he shouldn't have it. When they just want to make him look cool, they gave it to him. But it's really supposed to be something when he's being like fierce and stuff like that. So hopefully that does happen.
Canon.
Yeah, Rebels just didn't want to use the other character model where its eyes don't glow. Probably. Do you think it's like a copy of the model with glowing eyes, or do you think they add the glowing eyes? Like, I have no idea how that would work in terms of a production. Like, would there just be like 2 models of him? Inquisitor with glowing eyes, Inquisitor with standard eyes.
2 models. They just replaced the eye texture. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But would it? Yeah.
So, that's what they would do.
Yeah. So it seems to me like
they render in one pass. They just add the effect that changes the eyes in inverse and adds that, regardless of the global illumination.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in my estimation, they just used the glowing eyed model the majority of the time, even when they shouldn't have. And then because they wanted him to look cool, and then now it kind of visually doesn't make a lot of sense. But I, at the same time, want to point out Anakin's eyes don't glow red the entire time too. They only glow yellowish red when he's having a little tantrum. He wasn't even going
to have the Sith eyes originally in Revenge of the Sith. They added it for the trailer, and everyone loved it so much they had to go back and add it in the movie. Like that, they were really open about that at the time.
Recent,
Georgia, I didn't like it. It fucking ate $25,000 in my budget, and that was going to go to Starbucks, and I just can't,
So yeah, this one right here is funny. Darren mentions that he's seen a few complain on Twitter as if Rupert didn't watch Rebels before watching the Grand Inquisitor role in Kenobi. This is an outrage. It's unfair. Every actor going to Star Wars should 100% be a super fan.
Nobody saw Star Wars before I made the first Star Wars, you idiots. Like,
yeah.
Alec Guinness didn't sit down and read all my fucking scripts before he took the role. Like,
it's not. I don't think it's necessarily. Point taken, but I don't think it's necessarily that. It's people feeling that what they invested in before hasn't been honored. That's where they're coming. That's what they're coming at it from. That's what their complaint is. But what it truly most likely is that the Grand Inquisitor, not complicated, not multi-dimensional. He's a British douchebag that's cunning. It's not that fucking hard. This isn't something it's not like it's I don't know, I'm trying to think. It's not like it's not well, no, like if they were doing the Joker from The Dark Knight, that's a very unique take on the Joker, right? I would say, at least to like some degree, the voice and all this different stuff. If that's you couldn't just bring it, you couldn't not watch that and do that Joker, right?
There was no Truman Capote sounding fucking Joker before The Dark Knight.
There was a Truman Capote sounding Hut, and he's fabulous, by the way.
And if you'd like to see Truman Capote and Alec Guinness in a film together, go watch Murder by Death.
I saw the trailer for it the other day, actually.
Oh, we gotta watch that sometime.
Yeah, we gotta watch it.
I will watch that with you.
Yeah,
I would love to watch that with you.
I actually have a memory of it being on cable as a kid, but I don't have any recollection of it though. But of the movie itself. But anyways, yeah, most likely Rupert. Can I call you Rupert? Okay, Rupee. He lets me call him Rupee. Rupee was like, yeah, a little diamond in the rough, as we like to call him around here.
That's me.
Because he didn't watch Rebels. He's needs a little bit of shine at it. No, anyways, he probably looked at what the fucking character was, what the notes were, posh, egocentric, blah 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 blah, with these force powers, and saw some pictures and was like, oh, okay, I get it. Came in, fucking did it, and they were like, you know what, you got it, man. You know what? In fact, we like what you're doing so much, we don't want to fuck with it. We don't want you doing anything that we were doing in the cards. You know what I mean? And the other thing to remember is Dave Filoni had his fucking hands tied on Rebels. Rebels, the models, the budget, everything about it wasn't Filoni's like true fucking vision. It looks like garbage. And Filoni was not happy with it. He said that to me himself before it came out. He was super nervous because he didn't have any money to make the show. And so it is not something to get upset about unless we see the series and he's like, oh, hey, I'm the Grand Inquisitor. Oh my God, I got so many questions. Are you a Jedi? You know, if he's doing that, yeah, I get it.
I wish current Star Wars folks would pay attention to what Twi'leks looked like in Return of the Jedi with their sharp fang teeth and shit.
I prefer that. I don't like them looking like nice fuckable weirdos.
They all didn't have like they would curl around and be weird and shit.
Like in Mando, the one guy who's like the other major domo or whatever, I don't remember what his role is, but the Bib Fortuna surrogate, he looks like a stand-up comedian with Liku or whatever. And yeah, he needed a little bit a little more exoticism added to it. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean that in the like, give him things, give him something weird, you know, something eccentric. So yeah, but once again though, all of this is going to be for nothing, because after the show comes out, millions of people are going to have the Grand Inquisitor defined by Rupee.
Yep. And
that's going to be what he is, for better or worse. And yeah, you know, we'll have to see if it matters. In my opinion, from everything I've heard about the show, if he was erased and that was just a stormtrooper commander, same old at the end. If it was a ISB agent, same old. It doesn't seem like it really truly matters until we get to Jabim. And I can't promise that he has a great moment on Jabim. I don't know if he does. I know they fight like helicopter, like spinny blades, you know, that's what you're gonna get. And so I'm hoping it's like really good. But once again, this isn't really about the Grand Inquisitor. It's not really about the fifth brother. It's about Reva and Darth Vader. I mean, those are our villains that were actually like invested in the story. So, whoa, Coco Baggins, how's it going, Coco? If Deborah Chow knocks Kenobi out of the park, like, you motherfucker, you owe me, like that, is it time to throw her name in the Star Wars movie set? I say yep. Yeah, I would say so if she wants to.
In that Volkswagen commercial, the shot with the twin sons.
Like, hey, you're skipping in front of Coco. You know, he asked the question first.
No, it's tied into this. Is that because Deborah Chow's in the shot? Is that actual shots from Kenobi, like that backdrop and everything? The look of it is great with the brownish sky. Is that supposed to be Mustafar as the red, or is that the twin suns setting? Like,
I think it was Tatooine. We'd have to put it back on
because I like the look of it. I haven't had a chance to say like I really like that look.
Okay, you will need to unmute yourself for this one.
Yeah, this right there, that's fucking tight. That whole look.
So the Jawa and stuff, it's definitely Tatooine.
The coloring, the everything, I like it.
And like, you know, because those, what do they use? Did they use Unreal Engine for that stuff? And so with that in mind, like, you know, that could be a shot from or a backdrop from Kenobi, or just using the assets in a new way. Judging by the production cost of that commercial, it's probably new. It's probably not from Kenobi, would be my guess. But
I don't know. They put all those nanite assets up for free already in Unreal 5. Like, you can just start using them. And those are all the cinematic level assets that render out in real time. It's called nanite. Because
we live in a simulation, I'm waiting for my new Xbox to come, and we do.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my new Xbox to come, and I started like watching videos about the new Xbox, and then there was this video recommended to me last night about what on the new version of Unreal can do, and they started talking about nanites for about 10 minutes, and I realized that I'd never want to hear about nanites again, and I just turned it off. But now I wish I had continued, because apparently I need to know more about
talk.
I need to know more about
I'd rather hear about nanite than meta or the metaverse or NFTs or that fucking bullshit. You know, this shit actually matters. So,
but so anyways, if Deborah Chow knocks it out of the park, should she get a movie? I think so. I really do. I think
100%.
I think
if she wants to do it.
If she wants, yeah, because I mean, she's been a TV. I don't, in this day and age, I could see a big film for a Disney or a big corporate studio being really like about the money for you and really about your security as an artist in the future and stuff like that. So I could see a film being a major goal for somebody like her. At the same time, she has excelled in this format of long form storytelling, episodic long form storytelling. And so I don't know if necessarily it means she would make a great movie, but I think she'd be a better candidate to make a good movie than somebody who made one independent movie about superheroes or something. And then they're like, well, let's see what you do with Star Wars, you know?
Dude, I love that prisoner episode she did, man. Where they're all breaking everyone out of jail on the Mando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fucking love that.
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was Rick Fumiya did that one. She did the one with Gideon,
you're talking about the one that had
sorry,
the one with the Savage Press actor. Yeah.
But I'm talking about she directed the one with Gideon where they're all with the TIE fighter lands and the battle and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit's dope, dude. That's like the closest they've done to like a standoff, like a like I don't want to say a Mexican standoff, but I don't know. Since we're talking,
that's what it is. I don't think there's
here's a good old Mexican standoff, right? Like,
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's anything racist about just saying a nationality that's connected to a concept, right? I mean, a Mexican standoff, it's a thing. Anymore. I don't know if it's wrong. Offensive. Tell us if we offended you. Sorry, we don't mean to.
Yeah. Take it out with my dad. He didn't teach me Spanish. So you didn't know it either. Anyway, but I liked that episode. She did a lot. So, and I thought that the first episode she did she do the one in the forest with the AT-AT with the red eyes?
No, that was Howard.
Oh,
that was Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. Which that one right there, it was a mixture of very good and like, you know.
Oh, she did the Werner Herzog episode, right?
Okay, you've lost me now. I haven't watched it in so long, and you're like naming like all these random moments, and I'm like, I don't remember who
Werner
did what
Herzog,
now.
Man, when he shows up,
yeah, he's in multiple episodes.
Yuvanta Veska, you know.
Yeah. Well, he was in that one episode where they shoot everybody in the, where they shoot everybody in the dark, that nighttime inside shot that you liked. That was like the Batman guy, the Batman DP.
Yeah, Deborah. Yeah. That's the episode.
Yeah.
Greg Fraser. Greg Fraser.
Greg Fraser.
Did cinematography on that episode.
Is it Fraser or Frazier? Like Fraser Crane? I don't know. I don't know either. He never comes on the show.
I hate words. I'm an images guy.
Yeah, me too.
Pronunciations.
But Neil says yes to Deborah Chow. I hope we see more Steph Green as well. Yeah, the Steph Green stuff was it felt very focused. Book of Boba Fett episode was a fucking gem. Yeah, it is. Episode 2 of Book of Boba Fett saves the show for me. Yeah, it saves the show for me.
It's the only one you need to really watch.
Agreed.
Boba Fett wise, that one and the Mando episode done.
And then you get these feet pics from Ahsoka if you're into them.
We had the same video. We had the same video archives. I gotta work on that voice. It's better if it sounds stupid.
Yeah, you're a little bit Peter from Family Guy, a little bit. Luke Miller says there's an extra part of the BTS clip with 3 Inquisitors getting off the ship. I know it didn't. I must have cut it on accident. I apologize. No. Don't you run away from me, Larry. You are a poser.
Oral nuts for the win. Oral nuts need to be handed the next. They should give them money to do a spoof. I know they do a lot of adult humor, so they don't approve, but I'm sure they can easily work in
what they should do. They shouldn't hire the Arl Knots to do a spoof. They should hire the Arl Knots to do a song.
A song.
A song that is allowed to be funny. I would
Kind of
think
like
that
the
would
Guardians of the Galaxy music video. Remember when they did that one?
I don't, but I could see it.
No? I will
I don't
send
remember.
it to
Okay.
you. You
Yeah.
will like it.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I saw the trailer for that movie you were talking about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, on paper, it sounds like something I would be interested in. What's it called? I can't remember the genie
3,000
movie.
Years of Longing.
Yeah, but I got to say, I think it looks like Book of Boba Fett. It doesn't look good.
I wish Boba Fett looked as good as that. Like, no,
I think for a film, I wasn't digging how but once again, all of those shots may be like earlier versions of the shots, and when it comes out, it may all be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw a movie I'm not allowed to talk about recently, and it was funny because when I saw the cut of the movie this week, there was unfinished CGI shots that are finished in the trailer, which tells me the trailer shots are actually not the shots from the film. They were just done for the trailer. Weird though, right?
Right.
It's weird, but so is what it is.
They all don't come in order, right? Those shots.
Mm-hmm.
So that works.
Yeah. That looks like a planet made entirely out of clubs. I like when he talks about in the Arlnauts video, there are people who just wanted to step for clout or something like that.
It's the Disco Techno Union.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody though, if you think we're not, they're way funnier than us. But if you think that we're kind of funny, you're gonna think that those guys are hilarious.
Oh, the Arlnauts are they're the go.
They're the best.
They're the fucking state.
But there are people. Well, the state. Come on, man. Let's give them kids in the hall. Let's give them kids in the estate.
By the way, no kids in the hall's fucking great.
It's perfect. Yeah. It's almost perfect.
We're more like Curb, where you probably will get anxiety watching the show. You're gonna laugh, but also feel a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean,
yeah,
but
yeah.
The new kids in the hall. I think maybe up there the whole crush your head thing is funny, but that they connected that with with Super Drunk. Have you seen Super Drunk yet? There's a superhero who just gets drunk and he misses his daughter's recitals and shit because he's drunk. Super Drunk was great. It's the funniest thing ever. Although it did. Yeah.
Remember his girlfriend? Nobody Home.
Nobody Home.
In the original series, Crushing Your Head has a girlfriend, and she would hold her thumb up to him and say, "Nobody home."
Nobody home.
Yes.
So, Real Ben Maynard, how's it going, Maynard? Hey guys, do you get that a lot? Is that like annoying? Hey Maynard. Hey guys. So, non-Ahsoka question: should we be expecting a post-credit trailer after the second episode of Kenobi? I personally don't think we should. But I think they should, but I don't think they will. However, last time everybody expected it, and very close after Book of Boba ended, they did drop something for Kenobi because it was what everyone was talking about. But I also think that they were aware that they didn't hit a grand slam with it. And the Kenobi series is, I'm going to throw it out there and say that casting is going to be fantastic. Probably. It's probably going to be really good. The trailer's probably not going to fucking make grown men cry, is it? I don't think so. So if you're coming off of the heels of this is a spoiler show.
Unless you lose a bet.
Well, yeah. But if you're coming off of like Qui-Gon Jinn's Ghost and Obi-Wan Kenobi together, and then you try to throw a Cassian trailer in that's going to be like opening up after Queen. Like playing like your band goes on after Queen or something. Like they just fucking put We Are the Champions and Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You and Somebody to Love and Radio Gaga. And then you come out and you're like, oh, here's our new song. You're like, I heard Sugar Ray.
I heard Vader's going to take Reva's consciousness and put it into his TIE fighter. So she's actually the ship whenever he flies it.
It's a lot like Solo. Her consciousness ends up in his chest plate. Whenever you see it blinking, when you see it blinking, that's actually her.
She's in his chest.
And then her. Well, the best part is at one point the chest plate falls off on the Falcon, And if you think about it, it's like L3 and Reva scissoring. Think about it. Just saying.
The chest plate has little legs too that pop out. Crawl off. You crawl up. I called it the chest hugger, and it turns out Ridley fucking stole it from me.
Darth Grogu says,
I let him dry when he was working on that Blade Runner movie.
Yeah. What I think, was it Grogu Darth Grogu who was suggesting that we watch Star Crash? But I think that's probably a pretty good idea. Star Crash is pretty hilarious.
From Airplane, right? Isn't he that? Is the dude from Airplane in Star Crash?
Maybe.
Let me check.
All I remember is the lady. Never forget her.
No, it was David Hasselhoff. My bad.
Well, Hasselhoff shows up like on the back end of Star Crash, if I remember right. He's not.
I'm not watching Star Crash. Sorry.
It's hilarious. It's really hilarious. I'll watch it.
We're gonna have to get some serious. We're gonna have to get some Lamborghini style fucking super chats for me to
Corvette Summer. Darth Grogu says, "I love leaks, so I know what to expect and what not to expect. Then I can just judge what was created in my own merit when I watch it." I know. It's like you ever like gone on like a date with somebody you're really into, and they like say like, "Come over right now," and you know what's gonna happen, but you don't.
Everybody knew there was going to be 3 Spider-Mans in that fucking Spider-Man movie, bro. Everybody knew. No one was like, ruined, not going, made $2 billion. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it. The reason why it made $2 billion is because everyone knew they were going to get those fucking Spider-Mans when they went into the movie.
Yeah.
You know? That's why.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And Carrie Fisher's book was called Wishful Drinking. Darth Grogu says, "Yeah, Book of Boba would have massively benefited from spoiler leaks. It would have."
Yeah.
You know,
well,
and we should say spoiler leaks of substance, not like, you know, there's an N1 starfighter in there. You know what I mean?
The content itself is questionable.
Yeah, but it was like people expecting Kira, people expecting to be like, "What? I didn't see that coming." You know what I mean? Right. That kind of stuff, and people because people saw the potential in Book of Boba Fett more than they did. That was the problem with that series, in my opinion. And maybe there were behind the scenes reasons for that. I don't know. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Chosen One says, "What are the chances they continue Legends? Or is it over and done with?" You know, I feel like that last book in that Legends line did really tie that up. Could I see them?
For you.
What?
Lego Star Wars Legends.
Yeah. No,
that's how you do it.
No, but I mean, at the same time, I could definitely see them going and being like, "We're doing one Legends book. Somebody has a great idea and it doesn't fit, and it uses the old stuff, and it would make those people happy." I could see that happening at some point, but I also think it ultimately goes against their greater aims, which is setting a canon and not confusing people. And so, you know, but you put that giant Legends logo on the front, and it's up to them, you know, to figure that out. And you can even write a little page of it, an explanation on there if people need it. I don't know if the books do that now or not. I haven't bought it, repurchased any of the books. I don't need to. But with that in mind, I think that it's possible, but wouldn't hold my breath of it happening soon. Hey, Arya, how's it going? What's the Order 66 scene going to be like? Is it really good or just short? I can't say. I would be overstepping the parameters of my knowledge there. I would expect it to be short and snappy and powerful. That's what I think they were going for. And I think it's just more like, if you've never seen Star Wars, you didn't see Revenge of the Sith since it came out, or you don't remember it, and you're starting Kenobi, you're like, "Oh yeah, they killed all the Jedi." It's a cold open.
It's a cold open.
Yeah.
It's just I would say probably longer than that Grogu flashback bit, because that's like literally 15 seconds, right? 30 seconds. But no longer than a Better Call Saul cold open. Right, like,
yeah, and this is all,
or
this
Buffy
is all
cold open.
It's all guesswork. None of this is a promise, but in my brain, just knowing what's in the scenes, I see it probably coming in around 45 seconds.
45.
That's what I see. But there could be a lot of subtlety. You know, there
Same
could be
minute
like
30.
there could be like up against the wall one. I'm so scared. You know, not saying it, being scared, and then moving. But if they just do the kids going for the run, everybody shooting, and then the two make it out, how long do you need for that? I mean, truly, you don't need a lot. So
Same minute 30.
You say minute 30? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is the kind of stuff Santa needs in his poll, his little guest thing right here for the episodes.
What I need on my poll, I can't say, Jason. It's a family show.
No. All right, Mrs. Claus, get back on the poll. It's crawling chaos. If it's Order 69 scene, I think it will be really good.
That's what I want. Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah, or Order 69 is when the all the clones he's ordered, Palpatine, the clones Palpatine ordered come out, and honestly, half of them are Natalie Portman. As the truth,
Block 54 is where we all hang out. That's the that's the club within a club. You know what I'm saying?
As a true says, I can see people
that would be an excellent name for a Star Wars. Instead of doing like Star Wars Radio, just be Cell Block 54 and just be the party fucking channel where it's always a good time. Like if Max was always playing her music and fucking just watching Star Wars and shit.
I think As a True should have a segment where he debunks things, and it's called As a True or As a False. No, okay, I tried. So, anyways, as a True says, yes, I can say people don't expect stuff as much for games. Although some people wanted Order 66 killing scenes, Anakin, Maul, Vader, clones, Last and Fallen Order. Yeah, I've actually had a lot of people like asking me, like, is Cody in the Order 66 scene? Does Darth Vader show up in the Order 66 scene? And it's like, if Darth Vader does, it's going to be Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. I don't think that happens. And like I said, I think it's just more like what we had from Grogu and what Bail Organa did. Like maybe combine the Grogu scene with Bail Organa stopping by the Jedi Temple, where he sees Jet Lucas get gunned down.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, where an idea for an anthology style show would just be called Jedi Purge or The Purge or whatever. And it's just a bunch of episodes where one of them's Vader killing a bunch of Jedi, and the other one's the surviving the clone troopers or the Bad Batch or all that different shit. Like,
or it could be called Jedi Purge, and it could just be Grogu spitting up his frogs.
Yeah.
That's what babies do. Chris Owens,
pretty little bastard,
channel member, uncle to Luke Skywalker, daddy to Baru, says, have you heard anything about the quality of the acting performances of the main characters in the Kenobi show? Ewan, Hayden, Moses. Yeah. Actually, I was talking about this yesterday. And one of the things that I was told was that, unlike a lot of Star Wars that we've had in the past, good and bad, is that there's a lot more subtlety to the acting. There's a lot more depth to the performances, and that it's supposed to be much stronger acting than what we're used to. And one of the things that I am fairly certain is true that I've heard was that Ewan really wanted to be able to act in this. Because, you know, and I think he's sort of, if you read between the lines of what he was saying in the Vanity Fair EW pieces recently, he's basically saying that like, you know, it's hard to act against the blue screen. We didn't really get to act it. We just had to like kind of get into the scene as best we could. And that's where we were at.
He wanted to, and then Reva took all the scenes. So.
And then Reva took all the scenes. Yeah. There was they called it the revolution.
Sorry, Nari.
The revolution happened. Well, why'd you do that? Why you shouldn't have done that.
Sorry, Nari.
Yeah, and I would even, you know, even like let's roll it back. Look at the clip yesterday of Owen and Obi-Wan just having their talk.
More to life than your farm, Owen. He needs to see that. There's a whole galaxy out there.
I'm asking you to leave us alone, Ben. I mean it.
Is he okay?
You don't care if he's okay. You care if he's showing.
It's my responsibility, Owen.
Well, I'm his uncle.
We talked about this. When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father?
So I think that seems pretty solid for Star Wars, you know. And it is my
would be
take
nice to
anyways.
get that, you know. like
Yeah.
any of that kind of stuff in the prequels. So that's
Well,
that's the goal here, is that these cats that were in those films get a chance to actually do what they're capable of doing.
I don't know though. When Padme says Anakin, you're breaking my heart. I get a little
And
sad.
then
I get a
and then
little
her
sad.
heart she died, and then they repeat she died of a broken heart because you didn't get the first fucking time.
Yeah. Well, you know, Padme had cholesterol. Anyways, Azatree says for Jedi Survivor, the people expecting stuff want Vader to kill Cal, Maul to show up, etc. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I would say though, I was just daydreaming while I was driving my car today, and I was thinking about VR. I'm like, it's been a long time since there's been anything of substance in VR. And I find that kind of weird. Like Oculus Quest is just taking off. There's a bigger market than there has ever been for
They want to
VR.
make games at Facebook. The guy
Well-
who owns Facebook wants them to make more Facebook.
Well,
for VR.
ILM X Lab is where I'm going with this though. The people who did Vader Immortal, like, where's our new Vader Immortals like quality story? But I was thinking about it. I was like, man, that Darth Maul, it would be so cool if they did a Darth Maul thing, because like that Darth Maul spider stuff, like being in that cave with Spider Maul. If they ever did something like that, where you could like go through the Savage Opress Maul kind of story, because he ends up like coming, there's like this like weird monster thing. It would be rad to be that in VR. Then you get your legs and you're on the witch planet, and then you would get to go and take over Mandalore. And then, you know what I mean? Like if they did like a Darth Maul VR story, it would just be fucking fun. And being able to fight with the Darksaber and the double-bladed lightsaber. Like there's just so many things that are a given that could also be cinematic and add depth to it. I wish they would get on that. I'm ready. They have my money if they want it. It's just sitting there. They're just not taking it, you know? So Darren says, yeah, big prequels fan have been saying we have waited 17 years for this. So they have big expectations on lots of Hayden Anakin flashbacks. Yeah, you know what, Darren? I'm not picking on you, but I am going to roll that back. Big prequel fans saw Revenge of the Sith and thought it was done. Big prequel fans saying that they've been waiting 17 years for this, so it better be right, need to fucking get a little bit of perspective, because you
Prequel
were good.
critics have been saying that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And
prequel
and
fans have been saying, no, the story was great as it was. You don't understand.
Literally that's where I'm coming at this from. I think the story was I liked it. I thought it was fine. I thought it serviced the 6 movie concept. But now that we're getting beyond it, we're getting more. There's change is always an opportunity for improvement. And I see it as being a huge opportunity for improvement. And ultimately, if it does suck, if it doesn't work for us, then, so what? Then we just, stop that story at Revenge of the Sith for you. You know what I mean? Don't continue it. But
if you don't like Thor 2, don't worry. They'll eventually make a Thor 3. They'll figure it out. Like,
exactly. And Darren, we know you're talking about the discourse, and this isn't you saying that. We are aware. Not picking on you, Darren.
Yeah, we're not picking on you, Darren. We're talking about the proverbial hypothetical fans.
They.
Or myself specifically when I talk about prequel critics.
Yeah. Ben says, also, guys, did you see myself? Did you see myself? Some people sharing around, there were articles and reports last year saying Lucasfilm trademarked Skywalker Academy. Could that potentially be this grammar rodeo? I mean, it totally could. That could be the concept, but I also feel like just Skywalker Academy seems like something that. What's kind of weird is, do they own Skywalker as one word? Because I don't really know why. Sometimes they trademark. Well, sometimes
Star Wars.
they trademark stuff, and I'm like, did you need to really trademark that, or is it just for extra protection? But when it comes to Skywalker Academy and stuff, and that stuff just being, trademarked, I try not to read too much into that stuff, because sometimes it might literally just be a playset that's coming out where it's like a utility belt with a lightsaber and a Jedi snack box, and you know what I mean,
a series of books from Penguin.
It could be. Yeah, so it's like it could, but I would say that conceptually, that story. Could that story end up being 4 kids in the Star Wars galaxy who do end up meeting Luke Skywalker at the end? Yeah, it could be. It could be anything, though.
John Watts knows.
Watts, leak. Come on. Squirt all in my ear. Let me know. Darren says, what I think would be sick would be a Sith game instead of another Jedi game like Fallen Order Survivor. Imagine the flip side and you're a Sith in that style of game. Yeah. I mean, there's like so many fun things that you can do. I mean, and like one of the things about like 8-year-old boys, I would say, I remember hearing this thing about, and I think it's probably true, but when they were making He-Man, they found out that boys felt put down by their mothers. Their mothers had so much control over them. And they interviewed kids, and all of these kids were saying, like, my mom is the ultimate power in my universe. And when they tested, I have the power, and he gets real buff, that the kids, when they were testing it, went wild for it. The psychologist who they were using to do that figured it out. And that was part of the psychology of He-Man. And I gotta say, I think if my 8-year-old son was Darth Vader, my 8-year-old son likes Darth Vader. I hope he doesn't grow up to be a fascist, but he loves Darth Vader. And I think if you were, you are that, I love Darth Vader as a kid too. I didn't grow up to be a fascist, but that ability to have power that you don't have in real life would be something that I think children would absolutely love. And, but I also think that the way they fall into a weird place in there where they do have to sort of take it down a redemptive arc. So like, they don't necessarily like let you be Darth Vader, that you're like something new, usually is how they take it. But I would still be up for it though. Will Ahsoka be in Jedi Survivor? That's actually a good question. Will Kenobi be in Jedi Survivor? Will Jedi Survivor take place after the Kenobi series? Does the Kenobi series inform, the story of Jedi Survivor? These are all questions that I have right now. Or they may not have any connection at all, but with the partisans being involved, I think there's definitely a potential for that. Real Ben Maynard says, also, did you guys see some people sharing article? Oh, I already read that one. Sorry. He called it Grandma Rodeo. Grandma Rodeo is something that some of us are into, and we don't kink shame.
No, we don't.
Darth Grogu exclusive Ahsoka ass to mouth pics. Whoa, buddy, that's too far. We only have exclusive feet pics.
Grogu subtlety today, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. I wanted to share this story. I don't think we covered.
Not right now. Let's just read the chat. We'll get into UFO another time if we're doing.
No, it's not a UFO. It's a little Bespin Bolton thing I wanted to hit on real quick before I forget, because I meant to cover it and I didn't. Exclusive Death Troopers and Mud Troopers to appear in Andor. This is from May 10th.
Yeah.
Hello there. We're a small number of weeks away from Star Wars Celebration, where we're getting a new information on the coming Andor series, and hopefully we see some footage from Rogue One spinoff. In anticipation, I'm sharing some small pieces of information regarding the series, which has a couple links to Rogue One, as well as a connection to Solo, a Star Wars story. This is just one of a couple of reports regarding Andor I plan on sharing before the start of Celebration. So let's begin. Listings for Mud Troopers in the series appeared on IMDb a number of weeks ago, and I reached out to several sources connected to production to confirm if this listing was accurate, which I can report they are. I was also informed that stormtroopers in black armor were a part of the production in addition to the Mud Troopers, leading me to wonder if my sources were referring to Death Troopers as seen in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and by all accounts, it seems as if that is the case. Man, that was one of the hardest, like, I broke the original Death Troopers in Rogue One, and it was like, are they normal stormtroopers? Yeah. Are they like black stormtroopers? Yep. So is it just a stormtrooper painted black? Yeah. I mean, oh my god, it was like back and forth. Is it different? Yeah, it's different. It has that green on it, so it was just like back and forth. But anyways, I don't know much about the Death Trooper scenes, but at least some of them may appear at the large set that was built at Little Marlow. Little Marlow, by the way, is Bespin Bolton's sidekick, which is like a little guy named Marlow. I was also told that the Black Troopers were seen along with officers in white separate scenes. Now I know many will assume an appearance from director Krennic, but nobody attached told me about an appearance by the character or a sighting of Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah, and I will not elaborate on that right now or go into it, but I've heard that the same thing about there being dudes in the white Imperial officer uniforms like critics, it's a thing. So, but that's on Investment Bulletin right there. And yeah, and I think I might just be taking it for granted. I felt like we already saw Death Troopers, but maybe I saw Death Troopers already from it, and it wasn't something I couldn't share or something. But the Death Troopers are going to be in it.
It's a little fuzzy out there.
Tyler loves Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell too. Although last night Taco Bell made me very mad.
Taco Bell didn't love you.
So I ordered. My kids wanted Taco Bell. I was like, cool. I ordered on Taco Bell, and my phone connected to the internet, and then dropped, and then it made me hit connect again. So they charged me twice, and then at Taco Bell, they're like, we can't. You paid on the app. We can't refund you. You gotta talk to corporate. I'm like, so I gotta go spend hours talking to corporate. Like, and I fought it. They literally don't know what to do. Yeah, it's like a whole thing. But it's pretty ridiculous. But we'll see if I ever get my money back.
Don't buy anything on an app.
Yeah, I'm fucking over it.
You know what? Fucking dispute with Apple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if that's through the app, then like you can dispute through them. You know what I mean? And get your shit through there. They stole my fucking money through an online app purchase. You know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. MSW 8-track. That's so fake. Omar does YouTube 7.
He thinks your feet.
Oh, really?
Fake. Yeah.
Fake. Come on, bro.
Yes.
All right, Omar.
I've been waiting for this one when I saw it.
I'll tell you what, Omar. When Ahsoka comes out, I want you to come back. And when you see the feet pic in there, you drop me a $25 super chat. And if the Ahsoka show comes out and those are never in there, come in here and I will PayPal you $25. Is that a bet? All right. Jonathan says, I reached a point that Jay don't bother watching these Star Wars YouTubers with the exception of yourself. I know that I can get exactly what you get on the tin with your Star Wars reports. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you know, if you like their personalities, I guess you should watch it, but their analysis is usually like when I'm sitting on stuff, I'm usually like kind of like Newer Republic.
Like when they go, hey, are you excited about this pic of what do you think? What do you have to make about this Ahsoka feet statue thing? What do you think? I don't see why Doctor Strange 2 is making enough money at the box office. You're like, well, okay, you know, then they talk about Doctor Strange for now.
Well, here's what I think. I think it just like really kind of sucks that like I came here to watch Ahsoka, who's my favorite character, and then I'm just gonna see these giant feet. You know, I didn't come to see these giant feet. I came to see the space girl with the weird head things, you know? And I just feel like this is another Kathleen Kennedy like bait and switch.
I just wish we wouldn't get any pics ahead of time and just wait for the official releases so we could just make up bullshit rumors for fucking 2 years. And then, you know, we don't have to have any competition. We can just own that area. And then when we do get official stuff, we could complain out we never got enough and why aren't they sharing enough too? Like, it's just an endless fucking cycle of vicious, stupid shit.
Or the other thing that you can do is you could shit on it and praise it, shit on it and praise it. And then if it's good, say you always said it was great or whatever. Or you always said
Sounds
it was
like
bad.
My parents.
Wait, are you talking about your
80s kid?
About your parents here or your mommy and daddy when you were in Germany who shit on everything? I see what I did there. Newer Republic says, any of these set pics from Andor? I think the Andor set pick things have that frontier is probably closed now. I saw a bunch of set picks. Like there is a bunch
last summer though.
There's like I saw like a bunch that never made it out from Pinewood, and I was never able to get them. So if they do give them to me, then we'll definitely have them. But I'm not holding my breath. Pictures of the Partisans. That set was super locked down. I don't expect it. The only thing I could tell you is that I was told their costumes were very World War I-ish. Aria says, why does, and Aria and I were talking in DMs and she was like, oh, you need to market this as a Ahsoka feet pics. So that's definitely Aria's fault. Why doesn't Disney create Star Wars shows that got the quality of episode 9? They could probably afford spending well over $500 million for each show. No, they cannot afford.
They can't.
The movies come in around 250 to like 300 million ish, I'd say. I think that's what they were running on that stuff, and that was with marketing. these aren't about making films on TV. These are about growing the platform of Disney Plus. In fact, I would, eventually, I think that I don't know if things will get worse. I wouldn't expect I hope things don't get worse, but there will come a point if they, like, for instance, if they start making Avatar shows, we might see less Marvel and less Star Wars.
Cameron still owns it, so that won't happen. They
Okay.
don't own the IP.
Well, I'm using that. I'm going to use that as an example then, though.
He would never let that happen.
But I'm going to use that. No,
budget CGI.
Okay, Terminator, whatever. I don't know.
Fine.
Planet of the Apes, whatever it happens to be. Predator, whatever. I think Predator's going to Hulu, isn't it? Anyways,
it should be on Disney Plus, but I'm getting into this right now.
Yeah, but I think where I'm going with it is, I think that when they hit a point where they see the shows as being about subscriber retention and growth is roughly maximized out, that's when I think we might need to be more worried about how Star Wars competes next to its peers and stuff like that. And but I don't think that they're really ever going to get the bang for the buck out of taking it up to that quality. But I would say by the time we start to really feel the fatigue of not having the rich visual in that to that level and that depth, film will hopefully be back. So I think we're getting Omar in the mood because he's like, show me more.
Your tits.
Show me your tits, Omar.
Show me your tits, Jason. No, not Omar. He's what he's telling you. Show me. Do the shuffle.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Was Omar saying that the video? I don't know. It's all real, Omar. Either way, I promise. Tyler Russo says
we could come up with some more stupid shit than that. Like, we can get real stupid around here.
Yeah. I would just have to. I mean, all we have to do is get somebody in Darth Vader suit kicking a rock.
All I gotta say is Kenny Baker Bones.
Yeah. I gotta say, Jonathan, this Kenobi series, we're still in Skywalker Town, aren't we? But I do feel like after this, I feel very good about the Skywalker stuff. Like I don't really have a lot of things where I'm like, I need to know that immediately.
Give me more Ninth Jedi. That's the shit I want, man. That's the shit I want so much. That fucking Ninth Jedi episode on Visions was fucking phenomenal, man. It's so good.
Well, they do say that Acolyte is going to have a lot of like martial arts style themes into it. We don't know what that means. The idea
that they're all there to meet and then they're all there to flip on them, like that kind of stuff, and it had a kid protagonist, a sabersmith, which, you've talked about possibly being in Kenobi too. You get to see a sabersmith in the Ninth Jedi, like that. Go back and rewatch that. People sitting on that fucking
Donald
shit,
Glover
like
produces Mr. and Mrs. Sabersmith. No, okay, I tried.
Okay.
Ben Bamboo says, Luke, do you even know what he's supposed to look like?
He's in the trailer.
Who are we talking about?
Luke Skywalker.
Luke. He's asking if we know what Luke looks like?
Yeah.
When he's pod racing. Looks like a little pod racer.
He's in the trailer.
So hyped for Vader and Obi-Wan. Me too, Alfred. I think that that's sort of like
this week.
Big icing on the cake,
Is it this week or next week?
No, this week. Will it be Thursday night that we get to watch it? I think it's gonna be like Thursday night, and we get to watch it, and then we're gonna watch those 2 episodes, and then episode 3 is like the following Wednesday night, I think. And so we'll get Darth Vader back on that Wednesday. I think that's how this goes. Johannes, how's it going?
This Wednesday, I have to stay up late. Which fucking day do I have to stay up late, Jason?
I think it's Thursday. You have to stay up late.
Thursday. All right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're sleepy, you can sleep. But if you want to stay up and party, party's here.
Gotta do it.
Johannes says, will we get news about Jedi Fallen Order 2 at Celebration? All signs have pointed towards Jedi Survivor being announced officially at Celebration. I heard stuff I never reported about that being the plan, and then Bespin had heard it too, and Bespin moved on that stuff, and a big leaker in the gaming industry whose name I can't remember, his name was like like John Turkey Cider. So we'll just say John Turkey Cider. He said it. So, anyways, but people were definitely saying that that was the plan. But originally, Jedi Survivor was supposed to be in 2022, and now we're hearing it's been pushed. So I think that the amount that were shown could be greatly diminished from what we were hoping for when it was going to be a 2022 release. That's just a guess of mine, though. Hey, Devin. Can't believe Mark Hamill never watched Star Wars before he started playing Luke Star Wars. Luke, hey, I'm Luke Star Wars,
dude. That Luke's that triggered a memory, man. People thought his name was Star Wars when I was a kid. I remember that, like on the schoolyard, because a lot of those kids had vague memories of seeing it in certain spots. Like this is before VHS. It came to VHS and stuff. So it'd be Luke Star Wars, like they would call it that, like
Luke
that.
Star Wars.
That really happened, man. Kindergarten. I remember that.
I remember kids calling lightsabers lifesavers, and me wanting to punch them in the face.
And Dark Vader. Yeah,
Dark Vader.
Unfortunately, in the art department, we had an artist to the Lucasfilm rep call it Dark Vader, and I had to not just call it, but put it on a shirt, Dark Vader. And I was like, you gotta change that. Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, it's promised.
And the licensing rep, the person who repped Star Wars for Walmart called it Star World. And I had to go, if you tell that to them, we're going to get in a lot of fucking trouble. Like, you got to learn the name of this shit. So the people who sell these things, folks, they don't even know the fucking properties. There's nothing new about this. Yeah. Matter of fact, I had to school Lucasfilm once about Yub Nub. They tried to tell me it was Yub Yub. And I just they get the fucking lyrics out, with the musical sheets and the lyrics that fucking Williams wrote,
Celebrate the love, bitch.
Won a Grammy.
Darren says I should play Knights of the Old Republic when I get the Xbox. Well,
wait for the remake.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the remake. I did. Excuse me. I'm all congested today. I did play the game a few years ago though again, and I think I'll wait for the remake though. Azitru says, "Great to hear you're getting a new Xbox. I can assure you, Fallen Order and the Skywalker Saga are much better on it." I know. Last night, I was trying to fix my old broken Xbox because my Xbox One X, I got the black screen of death, and you hold the power button and the other button, and it's supposed to set the resolution back to like DVD quality, and then you're able to fix it. That's not working for it. But I was hoping I could salvage it, but it's not happening.
You know what? It's not a great game on its own, but co-op wise, bugs and all, that first Crackdown game co-op is fucking a load of fun, bro. That first one, I don't like any of the first one is the closest I've ever had to an action figure open world game with the transforming go-go gadget car and shit. And there would be tons of bugs, but with the buddy, it's super fucking fun, man. I love that first Crackdown game. Dude.
Yeah, I played that. I played that with my drummer, and we had a good time with it. And we got the second one and didn't like it.
Things? Those little glowy
orbs.
Things? You get nothing. Fucking dicks. That's but the last time, Jason, I ever collected shit in a game. Nothing.
Chow did the episode where all the Mandalorians come to save the day. It was Chow time. Devin Patel says, Shoot Dark's episode where all the Mandos come and shoot out.
Yeah.
So Mark says, bruh, Star Wars Theory is a scumbag. He says we're only here for our boys and doesn't care about anything else. I mean, he should care. If the first part is ass, then it'll leave a sour taste in the mouth. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess he's speaking for him and his audience, but if he says that kind of shit and it doesn't speak for you, then I just would say watch something else or whatever. But yeah, I completely disagree with their stance on a lot of things when it comes to the show and about saying what it's about or what it's supposed to be about. Honestly, you can't do that when if Disney hires you to write a Star Wars story and you don't really get to say what somebody else's story is supposed to be about. That's not really.
Disney's also hiring people to write their Marvel films. Same company, nitwits.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. Darth, but they want to. I don't know about Theory. I'm not trying to pick on him. I don't care. But they're trying to make it the difference is Kathleen Kennedy. You know, that's where they try to take it. Dark Grogu says,
and if she were right there, they'd be like, I love you. I'm a big fan. I love Indiana Jones. You're so great. Like, they're such liars, dude. You know?
How long before we finally see Quentin Tarantino directing an episode of Mando or something in Star Wars?
Never happened.
I kind of don't think it'll happen.
He's talked about this. Matter of fact, you can watch him talk to when he won in 2008, 9-ish, when they were all up. He was up for an Oscar, and James Cameron was up for an Oscar. Like, so they put them all in those rooms. I think Vanity Fair, right? They like interview all of them together.
Oh yeah.
And they asked him that, when would you do a big special effects driven like tentpole thing? And he was saying that first he made fun of. He's like, well, just because something's in 3D doesn't mean it's fucking like it's funny. You know, it takes a dig at Cameron at the table. But he was saying that when he made Kill Bill, you know, when he saw Avatar, like what he was doing with Kill Bill, trying to go for like a ride experience was what he was trying to do with Kill Bill. And that when he saw Avatar, he felt that was that. I think he already got that out of his system with the Kill Bill films. He even said the only thing he'd ever think about is Star Trek, and we see like they hit him up for it, but that never came to be. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
JJ
and I do think Quentin Tarantino is more interesting than Robert Rodriguez, but
by far.
But considering what Robert Rodriguez did with Star Wars, I think it proves that it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to give you something that a fan will connect with. You know. Robert St. Clair says, could they be using Disney Plus shows as a sort of extended tryout audition for doing a feature film for some of these directors like Chow and BDH, get them acclimated with the Lucasfilm way? I can see that for sure. I definitely, and I think that you see, you know, who wants to work for you forever and or for a long time. Because like when you think about it, we had Clone Wars and that gave us Dave Filoni and he never left. What directors might we get like him from these shows? It's possible.
It gives the fans a chance to root when you announce a director's coming, because you don't have to wonder what they would do. So they get to do a Star Wars episode with no $150 million marketing budget, you know, trying to tell you how this is the greatest thing and you better, you know, you get to just show up one day, see an episode you really like, say how much you love it, and then they're like, oh, this person's also doing more Star Wars. Oh, that's great. I want more of that. It really solves that fear of you're the next person. The problem with, you know, when it was Rian Johnson doing more, I don't want Rian Johnson doing more Star Wars. If you'd seen Rian Johnson do an episode of Star Wars first, you know, I'm certain it would have been good, you know, regardless of that script. I'm not the biggest fan of that Last Jedi script, but at the same time, it's still the most complete Star Wars movie out of all three of them. You know, you can just watch that and get the whole story you need, to be perfectly honest with you. So I think that takes the fear off the directors of being the next target beyond whatever, obviously, like the cats out there that are going to make a target at someone because that's their agenda to do so.
Well, let me roll it back to the other question with this
super chat bait.
Do you think they would ever? You think they'll ever have Kevin Smith do one? You think Kevin Smith would ever? I know. Well,
would they have him do it? Would they invite him to do it?
Well, let me say. He's saying he doesn't want to do it, but have they asked him to do it? There's a little different. I think there's a big difference there. Going, you know what? They haven't asked me. I don't want to do it. I'm good. I'm not aiming for it. But if Dave Filoni's like, hey baby, got my hat on, want to come direct one? You can make it funny. And then for the first time now, it's really on the table for him, like in a legit way. I wonder if he would do it. And I wonder if it would be. I wonder because it's like, you know, you got 45 minutes. I could kind of see him pulling off 45 minutes. Like, you know, he's done action before that hasn't been completely bad. I think he's a better. I think he's a funnier writer.
Second unit directors generally handle the action anyway, so that's kind of not the point. I think he tends to direct things that he writes.
Yeah.
Even in animation, like on the He-Man stuff, he wrote. You know, he was showrunner, so he's still, even though someone else wrote the episode, he's still touching on it some way. So he'd have to come on in some writing capacity, you know. And then that's the question: is does he have something that he would want to write? And I think right now I would say no, but they could introduce a character like Grogu's probably the closest I could think of, where Kevin would go, "Oh shit, that gives me all the feels." As a father, I can feel something there.
Well,
you know,
remember the Biker Scouts? That was like as close as we got to getting like what would it look like a Kevin Smith
the
did.
Tycho scene.
Uh-huh.
And to be honest, the Oral Nuts Existential Troopers version
Exactly.
of that is even more Kevin Smithy than
Yeah, it's perfect.
Here's what I think. If they paired him up with Kevin Rubio, you know what I mean? Like I could see then if there was someone that he was really working on. I imagine he'd want to work with Mark Bernardin or something like in that capacity, you know.
But he
I
did,
could see-
he did the He-Man thing, and I was like, well, I could see him doing a little taste of Star Wars, but
I could see them wanting to ask him to do something in animation. you
yeah.
know. I think
got
his
a
best
Dale-
work has been animation. The Clerks cartoon is his best work in my opinion. And that's
You're a big fan of the. I needed to watch it again.
It's
I haven't
great.
seen it in years. Dell, when I was at Celebration for The Last Jedi, whichever one that was, the one in shitty Florida, I remember being in my in my hotel room and an ad coming on for the movie after it was already out, and everything in the ad was not in the movie. And I was like, that's the pay-per-view ads used the made-up shit. I thought that was so dirty. Because you see that like that scene with like Jin and like that weird hallway and stuff, it's not in the movie. I'm surprised that's allowed. It's weird. Do they bring back Cabbage Head? Cabbage Head got eaten by a lamb head, fortunately. My post-credit scene was not referring to after the season was over. I was meaning like a literal second episode of Kenobi. Wait, after the literal second episode of Kenobi. Was the reports? No, after episode 2, Darth Vader's eye opens up. After they have saved Leia and Kenobi's back on the scene, that wakes up the sleeping giant, if you will.
That's the one you talked about. Yeah.
Darren Ferguson says Vader only turns back to the light at the end of Return of the Jedi because he remembers how Reva turned away from killing young Luke, his son. Therefore, Reva is actually the chosen one of the whole Skywalker saga. I think you figured it out for him, Darren. Disney Plus would be like a farm system for feature film directors. They'd start on Disney Plus and move into feature films. Marvel just did it with Waldron when he wrote Loki on Disney Plus. Then DS, yeah. So basically,
it's already happened with Taika. Taika started on that episode, and now he's doing the movie.
Now he's doing a feature. Yeah, definitely.
I think Patty Jenkins would have benefited from directing an episode of Mando. By the way, like, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Aria says, Jason, do you have leakers that can inform you whenever Disney plans on finding their writer and director for episode 10? Because it has to be Filoni in order to succeed, in my own opinion. I got to be honest, Aria, it's not that I don't believe in Filoni. Filoni's never done a feature. And until Filoni does a feature and it's a Star Wars movie, I don't really know what to expect. I mean, there's just such a different amount of work and constitution needed to do a feature film
Editing,
versus one of a TV show. Yeah. I mean, and the only feature film he's actually done was a TV show that mocked its way into being a movie. You know what I mean? Through editing, which was the Clone Wars film, and that wasn't his fault though. Not gonna hold that over his head. But yeah, I mean, the thing about Filoni so far, I would say, and this is me like just trying to be like critical and not just be Filoni, I love you, trying to just like kind of like look at everything objectively. He's been really good at extrapolating what's been on the table, but he hasn't overall brought too much new to the table in certain ways. Like Rex and Ahsoka are like the two contributions that are like really big. And maybe I'm being unfair though. But what I'm trying to say is like when you go to make episode 7 and you got to make like a new heroine, you got to make a new antagonist and all this kind of stuff like that. I feel like everything would just be an extrapolation of what was already on the table, which is what fans love, but it ultimately can, I think, become stale over time. And like Mando works with Favreau, but I do think that that Filoni and Favreau should do a Star Wars series eventually in film. I think because Favreau could undoubtedly do it, and I do believe in Filoni. I don't mean to
be the
sound like
Mandalorian. I have stand to say that the resolution of the first story arc for the Mandalorian should be a feature film. That should be the film coming out next year, which is not coming out. Like that.
That's what would have been better than doing season 3.
Yeah.
I
And then
agree.
they could give them the 300 million or the $200 million budget, the big
Yeah.
budget, you know, like they've
Mhm.
already proven that this one actually, look, I'm looking forward to season 3, but like, given what we've heard about it so far, the scale of it, I'm like, this should be a movie, man, with the
Yeah.
proper budget, you know, like,
Yeah. I mean, at least we're getting it. This is what I will say, you know. And
I know.
but maybe there's stuff, there's elements of the third season that we don't know.
Like,
No, what I am throwing out there though is what if it does end like that? Like it could, you know.
yeah.
We just don't know what that stuff is. It might be when all of the stuff is in place, and then Mandalore is now united, and then they look out towards conquest. That might be the movie.
I hear you.
I mean, but I don't know. Will Kenobi have a money shot? I have not heard about there being like this one amazing shot. The only thing I heard was about
underwear.
the hallway sequence fight was getting a lot of love when they were filming it. There was a lot of people talking a lot of like, wow, you know, that was really good. And then I don't know what it is in the end.
Over delivers.
No. And then the other thing I would say is that they filmed the end fight for like 3 weeks. So I would imagine there's going to be some really good moments in that if it took them 3 weeks and they really like went that long with it.
Deborah's work on that Mando episode makes me not worry one bit about
Yeah.
the Kenobi Vader fights or any of that shit. Like I'm not even like, I'm so not worried about. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, I just can't wait till I sit down and get. Like she's a great director. I don't know what to say. Like I don't know how anyone can just forget the work. I don't know, man.
Are you good to hang out a bit longer, or you got some stuff to do? Because if you got a
I
jet,
can do 30 more minutes.
okay, yeah. Whenever you got to
30?
take off, just by if we're not done, you know, I'm gonna hit it up though, because you know, if everybody wants to hang out on Saturday for a bit, I'm down. I got a little bit of time, so if you got stuff to do, by all means, just. You know,
is that like you want me to go?
No, I don't want you to go. I want you to stay, girl. Hawks Holocron says, if your tongue sticks to the pole when you lick it, what happens to you? Never mind. Gotta ask Santa. Ryan Mathis says, I saw on TikTok today someone complaining about you and Obi-Wan voice from that small extended clip we got. People will complain about everything, I swear. Yeah.
Don't watch TikTok. It's my advice to you people.
It's a Chinese psyop.
No,
D'Angelo.
Don't. You're gonna get me slapping the table again. I got a little penis.
Yeah. D'Angelo says that Jedi Purge idea is badass. I love it. Live action or animation. Vader needs to be a full-on Jason Voorhees and just go full slasher mode. Yeah, I think we might see some of that in this. You know, maybe we might get some of that going. But I don't want to overpromise anything. But I heard stuff that they were filming like Vader doing like on wires, like doing like flips and shit. So I think it's going to be pretty. I hope it's going to work. I hope it's not laughable. Like I was really all about it. Okay, like when I was hearing about it, and then Mando came or Book of Boba Fett came out, and then like the way that the spins were. I'm fine with the spins, by the way, but the way that they were edited in was not fine. And that's why people noticed, and that's why it was hilarious. It wasn't like Han Solo being cool. It was like, look at this motherfucker just spinning. What's he doing? You know? And so I hope it's not like,
always been in a Robert Rodriguez film. I'm like, it's not good. It wasn't good in those films either. It wasn't the one.
It was still better in those films, though. It's still
the whole tone
better.
of the things were comedic, though. Those films,
yeah.
The whole tone of Boba Fett's a fucking wish-wash.
Yeah.
You know? And at that time in the show, they were also trying to play it serious. And so it's like, didn't you throw that out? I don't know, man. It's just the tone. The tone is all over the place, man.
All right. In Chawi, we
so
trust
weird.
asked, if you arranged a party, who would you give a free pass at the bar? John Knoll, Nick Gillard, Rick McCallum, Jake Lloyd, George Lucas, or Frank Oz? Oh, it's Rick McCallum for me, 100%. Rick McCallum. That's the guy you want. That's the guy you want to party with. I know this.
Producers will talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got all the stories.
George Lucas would mean he's like obviously the most legendary, but you know he would just be kind of boring at the end of the day. You know he's not going to be that fun.
I talk about CBS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but producers they had such a wide range of stories, from the actor shit going on, rando shit when they're in a hotel booking something, flying people around everywhere. I mean, those are the ones with stories, you know,
Yeah.
like the guys who created shit will just be like, I was in my room writing, and then I didn't write, and I made a sandwich, and then I wrote some more, and then Chet and I went to Legoland, and I mean, that was the day.
As the truth says, ILM X Labs have a panel at Celebration talking about Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, which is not really, it's not super good. I like it. It's fun, but it's not super good.
I fear when you mentioned what are they working on, that they were working on a VR galactic starship experience.
Oh no!
Shucked it when that shit went south. You know
what?
Like,
I'd spend $20 on that over 6,000. Wonder if they'll hint at their next project. Seems to be about a year between each project releasing from them. Yeah, that's kind of my hope for it, because Tales from Galaxy's Edge, it had potential and it was fun, and I did like it, but it's clearly not the same as Vader Immortal. Like, it's such a different, it's such a different thing and experience.
Maybe it's a Kenobi digging game where you just bury shit out in the desert. Like, it'll come out for Kenobi. It's a Kenobi's big dig, you know. What else could I bury in the desert? You know.
about a week ago, my daughter wanted Taco Bell, and I was like, okay. And on the app, it was all, claim your free Mexican pizza. I was like, cool. And I wasn't really that hungry. And in the ad, the ad on the app, it had a lady's hand, and it had the Mexican pizza inside. And I thought, oh, they brought it back, but they made it small. And then when I got it, it was the normal Mexican pizza that they used to make. It was like, you know, like that.
Right.
But when they have it in the app picture, it's like it fit in her palm.
It's a Lola size.
It was, yeah. It was really weird.
I gotta be honest, that Mexican pizza was my big, like, that was a summer Batman came out and you can get your Batman cup and the Mexican pizza. That made me so happy. I didn't eat at McDonald's for a whole fucking year.
Yeah.
That was all I wanted.
And not until Batman Returns. Then you had to go to McDonald's for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you go to McDonald's.
That actually at the time kind of made me mad. I was like,
I wanted
like,
to
Taco
stay
Bell?
consistent Taco Bell.
Taco Bell did it better back then.
Yeah.
Where are the feet pics? We
I like that Alvin, but look at his face when he
says
it.
He's like, all right, I'm gonna put him back up for while we talk for Alvin.
Right.
You know what I mean? That way Alvin could, you know, do what he needs to do. There you go. There's your Ahsoka feet pics.
Ooh.
So. Amazing dude bro impressions or impersonations, whatever. Eric says, sorry if this was already mentioned, could a planet with burned up trees be Mustafar? That's always
according to Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, right. Well, according to Vader Immortal, where they healed the planet. But what you end up, the trees though were definitely the ones from that Ahsoka Mando episode. And they've just been there the whole time. You were there back then. Actually, I took Eric there. Me and Eric were there when those were set up back in the day. Ben Bamboo says episode 9 was hated by both sequel lovers and haters. So why would you use that as an example of quality? I'm going to guess that she means like the visuals. I don't think anybody would really say like, oh, this visually looks like shit. I think she's talking about like the depth of ILM and stuff like that. Not necessarily like the quality of the writing and stuff. It doesn't look janky. It just is written janky. Louis says
the opening montage at Mustafar, that looked janky. Just that out there. That was pretty.
Luis with the great hair says, Jason, any chance to see Plagueis or Darth Tenebrous in the Acolyte? Are we going in that direction? We were talking about that on Santa's show. Santa's not a big Plagueis guy my thing is Plagueis is just like Boba Fett before his show. It could be it's not a lot of reason to love him, but all of the potential is there to make it into something good and to love it. What did we hear? We heard it was about 100 years before the Phantom Menace now. So with that in mind, he's a Mune is what this species is called. And I know that they have like a life expectancy of like that of a human in the past, but I could think that could easily be changed. But I think it's also important to remember that they didn't touch Plagueis when they could have and they should have. They just didn't do it. So there's that. But at the same time, Plagueis' whole thing was about extending life and immortality and shit like that. So could I see Plagueis being 400 years old or 200 years old? I would be okay with that. That doesn't seem in Star Wars ridiculous to me. So there's a chance that we may be seeing Darth Plagueis' acolyte. It's completely possible, I think. That said, there is absolutely no indication of that. There's no indication it's going that way. What?
Jason, that thing I do?
Yeah.
You know, that thing I do where I start to figure what are they going to do next? If the acolyte's female and that female is the one who recruits Palpatine,
yeah,
you're never going to hear the end of this, bro. Like, I'm just telling you right now, never going to fucking hear the end of this. You know?
Whoa, I just had to block something that was saying Tinder, find girl even in the shithole. Okay. Mandy, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Will Tano appear in Kenobi? Perhaps looking over Luke when Kenobi goes off world. I mean, I won't mind that because if Kenobi needs to find someone, so I'm be honest with you, no Tano at all in it. And he doesn't find a sitter. He doesn't need to. Everything that Luke needs protection from is chasing Kenobi. So there's never a moment where that is needed. And yeah.
Sorry, you finish.
No, and now the thing I always say to that is if when fans have a problem with it, that is not saying you do. But what I am saying is that like who was protecting Leia? Nobody needed to protect Leia. Kenobi just goes and like kind of does that because Tatooine's a little bit more dangerous. But Uncle Owen's a badass onto himself. So I don't think, you know, and when you see him stand up to the Inquisitor in the show, you're gonna be like, oh, he can stand up to that. He did that. We don't need to worry about speed bike gangs. You know what I mean? He's got it. But
also, like what I was gonna say, Jason, is like they're there on Tatooine, the Empire, right? They're looking for Nari, right? So like they're not looking for Luke. And if they find Kenobi, then him being anywhere near Luke puts Luke in danger. He's no longer there to protect Luke. If they know he's there, he has to leave the planet, or they're going to be like, why are you here? You must be here for a reason. Why did you pick this shithole? Like, he has to leave. Like, think about it, folks. Like, at that point, you're putting the kid in way danger. It's not theoretical danger. It's literal danger.
Yeah. And if somebody like Ahsoka, I would even throw it out there to build on what you're saying. If Ahsoka Tano showed up to watch, which she doesn't, you know, she doesn't. It's like a whole different thing. But if somebody did show up at the Lars homestead to watch over Luke, that would bring more attention to around the farms and stuff. Like, who's that lady?
Why is more
Jedi
coming here?
Well, why is there a lady? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it couldn't be a Jedi. It would have to be somebody like Bell Organa putting officers there or something. But you know, it would just draw more heat. That's I think the internal logic of the story. That said,
I think it's also a fault of the prequels where it feels like, oh, Kenobi was given this mission to always make sure Luke was being protected versus just like, I just want to sit over this dude because he's the last.
No,
he's
dude.
the last fraction
he says
of a memory of a person that I loved who's gone.
All he says is, I'll stay on Kenobi. I'll stay on Tatooine and look after the boy. That's all he says.
Yeah, but like if there was a way to convey that in a way where it was more like, I'm watching over, like I'm personally invested in watching over this kid because he's the memory of my friend who's gone, kind of. You know what I mean? It's not personal. It's more, you're not getting the personal reason why he's doing it. It feels more like a RPG quest mission. Yeah. And so they're taking that too literally, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I know some people have a problem with it, and but I do think it's putting the emphasis in the wrong places. But Ben says he's talking about the Grand Inquisitor. Luke in chat said he looks fine to him. Okay. Ari says, I think that Josh and Theory are on a blacklist by Star Wars because of the shit they've said over the years. Laugh out loud. Oh, everybody's on a blacklist from the Star Wars people, unless they like really get up there in the butthole and like really lick it hard. I mean, you gotta really be eating that ass, or you know, they're so full of themselves over there at certain times. There's a lot of great people at Lucasfilm. I'm not saying that, but when it comes to a lot of the like PR side of things, I think they really suck. They have always sucked. And you know, they're a bunch of fucking nerds that are like, I have power now, you know, and then
Porks.
Oh my god, a hot callus!
If I buy all the porks, will you let me go to Celebration free? You know.
Yeah, I mean, like, you gotta spend.
Well, I get invited to the premiere Kenobi. Like, shut up.
What is the money called in Germany? Francs? That franc? No, that's France.
Well, now they're euros or euros.
Euros.
The Germans pronounce them.
It costs a lot of money a lot of euros to get a hot callus on your stomach in Germany.
When I was in the army, they had marks, German marks, and man, dude, the dollar to German mark was so good. For like $1, I could get almost $4 worth of shit on the account in Germany. So, bro, it was just like I eat for $1, like
yeah,
everywhere. Like
all of Germany's like an AM PM.
They did. It was for me. They did not like that, but for me it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arya says Natalie Holt's music on Loki is fucking amazing. If she gives us that quality on Kenobi, then we are set for a treat. Yeah, I haven't heard anybody like review it to me yet or tell me like anything about it of substance. But I am with you. I think unless she was burnout after Loki, which I don't believe to be the case, I am expecting it to be some of the better music that we've received in a while. And I hope it is. And I hope John Williams knocks it out of the park with his theme and it's not like kind of a throwaway. Darth Grogu says, I can see Kevin Smith directing an episode of Mando or something and bringing Jason Mewes in for a random cameo as whatever character. Yeah. I kind of wonder about the possibilities of something like that. Like on one hand, it's like it seems like he has every reason that they would do it. On the other hand, Disney seems like they might not like, the fact that he's that. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, hearing him talk. So he was working on Keepers of the Kingdom, that like Disneyland show for them for quite a year or two before it was supposed to go to Disney Plus. And then when someone else took over Disney Plus, like, yeah, we're not doing any of that. We're doing known property shit, on this. So he has played ball. He's worked with them, to develop things, and combine that with the misogynistic fucking hate theory. How about that hate theory YouTubers? Just to make a broad stroke there over the He-Man shit. I don't think he wants to deal with a lot of well-known properties at this point. Like he's making Clerks 3. You know what I mean? Like he can just as well as invent another low-budget horror thing and not have to deal with that swath of bullshit.
Right.
So
wax on, wax off news. Love it. Chances perfect. Yoda appears in Kenobi at some point.
Best name for a new series ever.
It's really good. It's really good. So I saw Ewan driving this old timey car. The next day, I saw a guy who looked like Frank Oz driving it. I thought, shit, was that Frank Oz? I wasn't 100%, but it looked a hell of a lot like him. And so now I'm either like, it was probably not Frank Oz, but I'm also going to throw it out there that it may have been, and it may have just been like he visited the set or something like that. But when I talked to everyone involved on it, they're like, Yoda's not in this. And I'm going to say, if they tell me like I was filming Liam Neeson today, I don't think they're going to be like, Frank Oz is a bridge too far. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say, I am firmly saying no Yoda as far as I know, and say, just like I said, no Forlom, and that was a different droid, and same kind of thing. So Ben Bamboo says, let's just flip Filoni to come up with the story. He doesn't need to direct it.
Well,
Yeah.
why don't we see what Filoni does with Ahsoka, the series, before we start saying let Filoni make episode 10. How about that?
True.
Let's see.
Yeah, because Ahsoka could be the most fan servicey, pointless show of all time. It's completely possible.
Thrawn is the one I'm like, man, that's just, even in my opinion, Timothy Zahn hasn't been able to write Thrawn since 1999. Like those new Thrawn books, I am not feeling them at all. And I'm the biggest Thrawn fan there is. So
I'm not the biggest Thrawn fan. I am of the opinion that the first book was good, and then I felt like it kind of, the more I got of him, the less I felt like less was more.
Flight. I like, you know, I like all that stuff. So, I'm just not feeling it's. I don't know. So we'll see.
I was talking about this yesterday, Darren. Will Kenobi say hello there? I regretted for the fact that I know he does, but I never asked what scene. Like, and I was just getting into the nitty gritty stuff over it. I didn't, and now that all of that is behind us, I got the majority of the broad strokes out. I wish I had that one, you know. I wish I knew.
Do you think the broad strokes would have been the great companion piece of the different strokes, but like,
or a strokes cover band, but it's all broads? Okay. Anyway, Darth Del Rio says, "Do you know how much screen time Qui-Gon will get?" And Darth Del Rio, thanks for being a channel member, dude. I always appreciate it, man.
Always appreciate it.
Qui-Gon is going to, like I said, he's going to be disembodied voice, so that's not screen time, is it? That's ear hole time. He's going to have that, and I'm going to say, like, he probably, from what it sounds like, it says equivalent of what took you so long, equivalent of I've been with you the entire time, equivalent of a smile. What's that? 10 seconds? 15 seconds? Probably.
Like maybe a tone poem.
A little bit. A little bit. So as far as I know, there's like, he doesn't sit down and say, like, you know, Kenobi, remember when we were on Mandalore and you were gonna bang that chick who looked like that one chick
you pissed
from
yourself,
that other
I
thing?
remember.
And then I pissed myself, and you said, "Now I am the master," and I said, "Only a master of drinking tonight, Darth."
When you have way too many Rob Roys. Why'd you drink all them Rob Roys?
So yeah,
little self-aggrandizing, don't you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be a big moment. I think it's gonna be a powerful moment, but once again, it's like the emphasis on it can make it seem like
I feel like I have to watch 3 other movies before I watch the series, and I just don't think that's right. I should have to only watch the show. I never should have to watch anything before, or it sucks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fan bragging right now.
Crawling Chaos is careful with putting Filoni on a pedestal. He's only human. At some point, he will make a mistake. It happened with George Lucas. For years, fans felt he could do no wrong if he made mistakes. Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Clone Wars, the movie.
Well, the thing with Filoni is that when he continues on a path that isn't working, he's good at course correcting. So far, I think that's been the really solid thing about him. Is he's been good at course correcting, and it's usually because the idea initially was good, but the fans weren't getting it. Then he finds out how to make the fans get the idea. Like he did that with Clone Wars a lot. He did it with Rebels and stuff like that. And then, but the shit where you could tell he was just in and out, like Resistance, where he was like, oh yeah, I kind of like, you know, helped them get going, but wasn't really a part of it. That shit never course corrected. And I think that's a big difference between what Filoni does and I mean, Sky Guy, R2E, and Snips. How long did that last? It got out pretty quick.
I'll never forget, Jason. An ex-girlfriend of mine, who I thought once I would marry, but apparently I was way more into that relationship than she was.
Yeah, that happens.
LA, married a dude from Nickelodeon who was friends with Filoni. True story. Right. Not making this up. They go to the premiere of this Clone Wars movie, right?
Filoni gets her
friendly.
Filoni right? Gets her into a hot tub.
I wish that was the thing, but no, not the case. I would have pics if that were the case. Filoni in a tub, all red faced with the cowboy.
He's like, I don't take my hat off for anything.
Not even in the shower. And they came out that premiere. I'm like, how was it? I was so excited. She goes, oh, it's not good. Like,
Yeah.
And she's like, everyone was quiet, and they came out and they gave him a thumbs up, but went home. Like that was literally the move, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was a tough night for everybody. I think he learned something. You know?
Well, that wasn't his fault.
No, but they all learned, you know,
Yeah.
like you can't just slap something on or shove it in the movie theaters and be like, they'll see it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And I would say one of the things I miss about George Lucas, like in this current iteration though, is like, it would be cool if we could like go see like the finales of some of these stuffs or the openings like in the theater, like special screenings, you know, at select theaters
Now
for
with COVID.
no, not with COVID, but in general, like
Right.
I don't think they will ever do it because I don't think that they want to water down the theatrical experience with Star Wars and film that they are continually making films in. But God, it would be so cool if I could go see, you know, like when Mando premiered, if I could have went to see the premiere and like the finale, you know what I mean? And I did that for Battlestar Galactica. Me and my buddy saw it. So anyways, Robert Zinkler says Rey's parents' names being mentioned in the excerpt from the upcoming book was interesting, but did you see the fact that Rey's great grandmother seemed to be someone who was naturally gifted? I actually haven't read that yet. I haven't got to that yet, but I will read it and we'll like look at it. It's one of those things where like the book snippets that we would go over on the show, I usually save those for when like we like run out of stuff, and we have been between my scoops, Best and Bulletin scoops, and then like the Vanity Fair and EW stuff, we haven't really had to get there yet, but I do plan to get there. I want to see what it is. I want to see what they're doing with that stuff. Better late than never. Arya says, this may sound fucked up, but imagine if KK died because she choked. Kind of ironic.
Arya.
Whoa, Arya, you are
kind of
fire
fucked
today.
up. Jeez. Hardcore. Grimdark.
Imagine what if Kathleen Kennedy died and then it turned out she was never actually alive and it was George Lucas in a lady suit the whole time and he crawled out and he was like, it was me. I just didn't want the criticism anymore. Little did I know.
I got ever since I saw Tootsie, I just always wanted to crawl out of a woman's body and present myself to the world. Like,
oh man,
George, you don't have to say everything that's on your mind.
George.
I put it in yellow pad. It's right in pencils. And number 2 Ticonderoga, I wrote, I come out of a woman's body and save Star Wars. Yeah.
Sam says, I'm confused by the Palpatine clone stuff. Does it imply that he could be alive during Acolyte? Yeah, it really could, but it doesn't. You know, it seems like they want the story to be that he was the guy on the boat and then he becomes a Sith Lord. But there's still things that are contradictory about like when he gets shocked by his own lightning from Mace and he gets all weird looking and stuff like that. Like, is that how we always look? Because if that was the case,
sense of Revenge of the Sith, and I can't do it. It's 20 years. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you know, in the story, it makes sense. Revenge of the Sith, but when you pull out, and you get to Luke Skywalker getting shocked, he didn't turn into a giant ball sack after getting shocked. Why is that? And you can make it work for yourself. You can say that the intensity of which Palpatine was trying to hit Mace was a death thing, whereas when it came to, you know, if it was a vibrator, he hit it at 1 for Luke, but with Mace he hit it all the way up to 10. You know, on Mace.
The reality is he should have looked like decrepit Emperor in all the hologram shit in episode 1, but as a senator he looks human because he's been hiding him. He uses the ability to change his fucking appearance, you know what I mean? And then he just reveals himself to always be a ghoul the whole fucking time. But George, man, just unnecessarily complicates things sometimes.
Yeah,
that's why I made the other thing, the bounty hunter, the shapeshifter, for no fucking reason, because that went somewhere, you know.
Yeah, that made the narrative easier to understand.
Palpatine should have been the shapeshifter. Just saying.
Yeah, well, people were back then were speculating, is Palpatine a Claudite? That's what they were saying. I didn't. I read that though. I read it back then, is all I'm saying. But yeah. So, anyways, I think the story, as I understand it, Sam, is Palpatine was a guy, became a Sith Lord, senator, and then does the Emperor stuff. When he dies in Return of the Jedi, the Sith cultist then are able to summon his spirit, pull it out as they sense, I don't know, whatever, that he's died or he shows up or whatever. And then they have the body for him to inhabit. And then I think the story is that either the bodies have been dying and he's been changing them, or the body that they finally made for him, that the only one that worked, is finally about to die. And he needs Rey. He needs whatever from Rey to be able to bring himself back. And I think that's what they're going with there. But I would not be surprised if we learn that if there's more to it. I'm okay at this point. I don't give a fuck. I think it's so out there and just like whatever. If they had a good idea for it and he's an acolyte, cool. If he's the acolyte in there. But we have heard that it's a female driven Star Wars story, so I'm not expecting it to go that way. Luis says Rob should do a whole stream talking like George. I think he does it every day. Darren says Vader Immortal VR is amazing. I know. I think I might actually play it today. My kid's not here. I think I might give it a whirl. Maybe one of these days I'll play it and stream it, because I think I could stream Oculus Quest stuff pretty easy. We need a sequel to the Old Republic Commando game and just make it be Republic Commando Order 66 as the title. It'd be fun. Episode 3 when Din saves the group, and episode 7 when the Ugnaught dies. Yeah, when the Ugnaught died, he was
episode
great.
7 was good, man.
Yeah,
and 3 and 7. Her episodes are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very, very fantastic. Hold on, I need to. Are these all different users about even in the shithole?
I blocked them, but they're still in the thread. So
okay. I was trying to get rid of them. Darth Cooker says we need George R. Binks comic made into a miniseries. Yeah, we just need Jar Jar back. I just want Jar Jar back. In chat with us, you choose where I would go on holiday this summer: Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Anaheim or Orlando. Where will I get the best bang for the buck? I personally don't like Florida. I have never enjoyed Florida. Florida to me feels like California if it was just a liquor store. So, but I've never been to Disney there, and I hear a lot of people like it better. They're like, it's bigger and more spread out. Same time, I gotta say,
it is helpful. I agree. So here's the thing: you can go to the Pandora's thing as well in there. The Pandora thing, that
Florida,
that Avatar flight ride is fucking amazing. By the way, like whether you like Avatar or not, it's just fucking. So you get both that. You get Galaxy's Edge. You get that. But if you go to LA, it's cramped, it's smaller. But you can also, when you're done, go check out the Star Wars Cantina, Scum and Villainy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get yourself another beer. But that Disneyland, man, it's just fucking. Here's the problem, man. Like I used to go every Christmas to Disneyland because it was empty, and then this one Christmas in 2015, 2014 to 2015, that Christmas of 2014, they realized that was a problem, so they took in they overbooked it with foreign tours, right, from out of the country, China, Japan, whatever, and the park was so packed they had to shut off the gates. They couldn't let people in, and that was the day a flu broke out. Giant flu broke out at the park. I was there for that, and I'd never seen the park in my entire life. Never seen the park that full of people. It's just not. So I don't know how they deal with overcapacity, but it was built in the 50s. So if you're claustrophobic, don't go to Anaheim. Just letting you know, it's smaller.
I mean, the thing about it though is like it depends on how many days you're going to be doing and stuff like that too, because if you don't have that much time, you could spend 2 good days at Disneyland California Adventure, and you wouldn't need anything else. And then when it comes to Galaxy's Edge, there's not. I don't see an advantage to one over the other. To the one in Florida over the one here. So if you're primarily it's about Star Wars, So I would just say like what else do you want to do on your trip? I would let that guide you. Also, the bar sucks at both of them. The Uga's Cantina, whatever, it sucks. It's not that good. But out here, the Scum and Villainy, if you want to go and Uber from your hotel room to a place and have a lot of drinks and have a good time, if that's your thing, Scum and Villainy is the place to go. Luis says expectations for Indy 5. Is it going to be good? I have high expectations. I think
Jason, we've seen more Indiana Jones footage to most people.
Yeah.
Right. On this show, just sharing. I mean, none of my friends even know there is like, videos or pictures and shit available. We don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I like the director.
Yeah, no, that's ultimately what I think, is that, like, I feel like Spielberg said what he wanted to say with Indy. I feel like Lucas did what he wanted to do with Indy, and I felt like they were both sort of like done. And so I think Mangold is a really good shot at somebody making a new indie movie and it not being with the original crew, or Lucas and Spielberg, and it being good. I do think there's a good shot. So I have faith in it. I'm interested in it. I'm following it. I'm going to see it opening night. I'm going to follow every bit of news that comes about it on this show up until it comes out. And so I have high expectations, and I would say the same thing about Willow. I feel like Willow has a really good opportunity of continuing the Willow story and being great. And so I grew up with both of those being like my other alternate Star Wars jams. If it was Star Wars, Willow, Indy, Back to the Future, and those were, that's what it was all about. So I think so. But I also think if you're somebody who only liked Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is a fucking perfect movie, and then the rest of the indie stuff is not a big enough jam for you, I don't think it's gonna beat Raiders. I don't think it's gonna be better than Raiders. I think the most that we could reasonably hope for is something around the quality of the best parts of Last Crusade. That's my opinion, or my
Also,
analysis. That's to say,
because I get the chance to, anytime we talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark, I just want to put it out there. Many people say that nothing mattered in Raiders of the Lost Ark because Indy didn't stop anything. They all would have gotten the Ark. The Nazis all would have died anyway. Nothing ever happens. And I'm going to say again, fucking Karen Allen's character, brain farting her name, right? Karen Allen would have been dead if Indy hadn't been there.
She would be
not
dead.
Have survived Nepal,
Marion,
or whatever they came.
Marion would be dead, but also without Indy, the Americans wouldn't know where the Ark is, and it would have stayed on the island. And then eventually the Nazis would have got it, and eventually the Nazis would have figured out how to use it and weaponize it. So that whole argument is it's a really funny thing to say at a bar when everybody's drinking and being hyperbolic, but it's very stupid film analysis.
I know. But I have to, anytime we talk about Raiders, I have to bring it up just to fight the.
Stop that from permeating anymore. Do you think Rey will pass the Skywalker name on to, or who do you think? Probably a little Chippy, little Chippy Jones.
Spreads like COVID. She coughs it out in a room. Everyone gets Skywalker.
I think it's almost a given if they do more Finn and Rey. Finn, unless he is married or something, which not really a Jedi thing, I would imagine he becomes a Skywalker too. He didn't even have a first name until Poe gave him one. He has no last name. He was the character who would actually made the most sense became a Skywalker, since he has no last name. He has no idea what his last name is, and it could have been, but also maybe he'll be a Solo. Maybe he'll take the name Solo. Han.
She should have took the Solo name. I don't even get it. She had a relationship to Han, and she didn't even get along with Luke. None of this makes sense to me, bro. I don't want to get into it.
No, at the end,
I'm gonna get nerd mad right now. I don't want to get nerd mad.
No, at the end, they end up on the same page. By the end of the Last Jedi, Rey and Luke are on the same page.
But the guy who took her off the planet, I'd take her off the planet, but you know what I mean? Gave her a call to adventure,
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be like a father figure because you fell in love with this kid, and that make them incest, and that wouldn't be Star Warsy at all.
Afternoon, Soundwave.
It's complicated.
Thank you for being a channel member, Soundwave. Chris says Thrawn is best chance to bring back OG Imperial fleet troops. It's a good possibility of that, yeah. Eric says, I think knowing the outline of Last Jedi ahead of time is why I liked it so much. Luke's arc made perfect sense, being prepared for it. Right. Yeah, me too. Ben says, based on what he did for the Clone Wars, Filoni has more than proven himself with incredible storytelling in the Star Wars universe. Also, he should just be a story co-creator or supervisor, not the sole guy. Well, you know, I mean, he's still live action. In terms of live action, could be considered a young director. Doesn't mean that he comes in with no experience from all of the animation and stuff like that. We just have to see what he continues to do in live action, because, you know, it's like I mean, I could always go back to music. A band can do like 2 good records and you're like, wow, this band's great. So when they get to that 3rd record, that they become Queen,
Stone Temple
or
Pilots.
they become, I think
Or
you're being nice
they don't
there.
work
But
out.
yeah, no, exactly.
First 2, perfect. Second.
Yeah. I mean, like, are you going to have
third.
continuous hits, or are you equivalent of a 1 to 2 hit wonder, you know? And, but once again, Filoni, I think is a great chance at that. I'm not trying to belittle that or anything like that. My only thing with Filoni is just the fact that he hasn't done things outside of Star Wars. And I think I'm more interested in things from outside of Star Wars growing Star Wars than Star Wars growing from within of what already exists, which Filoni is very good at playing with the toys that exist, but he hasn't
That's why they paired him with Favreau.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point.
I would also say that Clone Wars is proof that investing in long form storytelling via animation is an excellent opportunity for companies to do, regardless of whether they nail it in the first season or not. Like that show is a testament to iterating over time.
Yeah.
You know, and nowadays when like streaming services like Netflix are like, oh, we're just going to cancel after 1 or 2 seasons, that doesn't give any show the chance. Clone Wars would have been canceled after this first 3 episodes if that's how they ran shit. Like, that's not.
And that model, I hope Disney is paying attention to that, though, because that model of putting on a show and then just going, well, we're done, or doing the good season and the bad season and then being out, it makes me not want to watch Netflix shows. It makes me not trust Netflix shows until there's 4 or 5 seasons. And so when it comes to, that's why Book of Boba Fett, gotta say, don't love it that much, but I do think doing a season 2 and making me love it is the way to go. Fixing, not abandoning, seems to be the better way to do this serialized content, you know? But what do you think about what Chris says here? I have a theory that diverse directors, Chow, Fumiwa, etc., do the least woke pandering because they have nothing to signal and just make good content.
I don't know what to think about.
Yeah.
I look, what people, I don't know what they consider woke pandering, you know, because if you're saying, is there a moral in the story, or are they checkboxing, like, do we have to have a diverse cast to, like, so then you're saying the default cast is white? I don't know what this means.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't have the same framework in my head because I grew up with a fairly diverse family. Half my family is Hispanic, part of my family was Asian, part of my family's white. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up, I don't understand, other than like now it's like a bunch of people a bunch of white dudes who only saw things from a white perspective are now getting other perspectives consciously. They're consciously getting them. Then they're like, things have changed. You know, and I'm like, I grew up in a world where I was only watching the Jeffersons and Good Times every night. You know what I mean? Like, Three's Company was in between it. Like, I didn't get to even watch cartoons because we got home so late because my mom didn't bring me home till 7. You know, like, so I don't understand that. In terms of whether the directors are not bringing things, I think any director and writer on a project should be able to bring as much personal experience to their writing as possible, because it will feel genuine as much as possible, whatever that is, you know?
I feel like they're, but like also like the most woke critique that we've had in years has been against Kenobi, and so far because they put a black woman in a leading role in it, and that was Chow. So I'm not even sure if I necessarily agree. I know where you're going though. I'm not sure if I agree with that, because based off of that, but I also don't feel like just because you cast a black woman means your show's woke. I'm not saying that Chris is implying that, but that's what those people imply. And then, but also like, the shows, the episodes that they didn't write, they were like put onto those ones. And it's not like they go, they would stop and go start rewriting it and demand something specific. Does that make sense?
That makes sense totally. And I could say from my own personal professional experience, the only time I've come across ultimatums from licensors, from big properties, has been anytime from 2005 to 2015. Anytime I put a female on a Marvel shirt, I was told from Marvel, take her off, females don't sell. So if we did an Avengers shirt that had Black Widow on there, I had to cut Black Widow out and put in Wolverine on an Avengers shirt, you know?
You're
like
right.
to make that work, or Spider-Man to make that work. So I've only heard it in reverse. You know, like I tried to do Black Panther shirts way before the movie, and was always told from Marvel, don't, it looks like Batman, or this is a political message. You know, we're not getting like that. I've only heard it in the don't do things. I've never heard it, and we have to now fill a quota. I've never heard that. And it was really frustrating when I would put up a design that I had put together, and I'd get other artists going, why'd you take out Black Widow? I'd hear this in 2011 and 12, you know, like what'd you do? And I'm like, I didn't do shit, guys, you know, like, so I just stopped ever sharing t-shirts.
There used to be there used to be a thing where people were like, where's Ray? That was like a whole, like, you know, the faux political activists on Twitter. Where's Ray? Where's Ray? Well, you know where Ray was? She wasn't on anything because Lucasfilm told everybody that Finn was the main character. And they thought that she wasn't the main character, so they didn't overproduce, and they got actually pretty fucked over it. Bespin and I were talking, and tomorrow is the Kenobi Cup in Fortnite. And if you win a match in Fortnite in duos, you get the Kenobi skin for free, maybe even early. So he said, we definitely need a win, and he said, we'll give it a shot. I straight up told that fool. I said, win or win not, there is no shot. So now he knows I'm not fucking around.
Nerds.
Yeah. Yesterday we were playing and we were talking about something, and we got like 12 kills. We're fucking monsters of men. I think tomorrow we're gonna do it. And Chat We Trust says, people saying George Lucas was ruining their childhood can go sit on a pine cone. This is a man that deserves a statue in Times Square taller than the Freedom Tower. The world should love him. I do agree that the world did Lucas dirty.
Yeah,
I do think
the
that
ruination of childhoods. You know, that was the first name of the prequels I was working.
But I mean, like, when are we going to learn? When has this collective Star Wars fandom not done the people that do the most for them dirty? I just really gotta, at the end of the day, it's funny because it's the truth. Like,
dude, my buddy who passed away last summer,
mm-hmm.
He was 11 when the holiday special came out. He cried and gave up. Like Star Wars, he thought it was over.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was over after the holiday special. He's like, it's over. They ruined it. It's already done. You know, this is ridiculous. Like, he was mad and angry and threw away his little Boba Fett figure and shit he got, all that stuff, you know. And then Empire came out, you know, he felt better. And then he hated Star Wars again after he hated Jedi. He was like 16 or 15 when it came out.
Jedi's the best.
Hated it.
Lando does that. I love it. Darren
he was
says,
with me in Germany when we went to go see the Phantom Menace, and he was talking shit the whole time. This guy fucked up for Jedi. He's gonna fuck it up for you too. Can't wait to watch it. And he wasn't half wrong. You know, I was fighting it though. I was with you. I was defending it, but
yeah,
it was hard. It's hard.
Well, I promise you, if I die, I'll become a ghost. I'll go get the spoilers. I'll watch what they're doing as a ghost, and then I'll tell you. And then you can report to the show.
You know, I was making not a joke, but I was talking with a friend of mine who is a person of color, and I only bring it up because they were bringing up Reva to me and some concerns they had. Because there's a lot of stereotyping sometimes they feel, right, from their point of view. Mm-hmm. The yelling quote is one of them. Why is she always yelling? It's like a thing for them. They're like, why is it always... I'm like, I wouldn't read into that. But I did say, you know, they're afraid of black characters in a lot of Disney programs tend to be blue ghosts for some reason. And I was like, if Reva becomes a blue ghost, does that that fulfill the stereotype? And he was like, you know.
Don't worry. She's definitely going to Star Wars hell when she dies, like the rest of us.
All right. Red
yeah.
ghost. It is.
Yeah, Red Ghost.
Okay. Totally different.
Yeah. Anyway, let me see. Make sure we could get out of here pretty soon. We're going a little bit long now. And Chavez says, "Well, that's not true. They're calling chaos. The prequels were slaughtered all over the place, critics, media, fans. But in reality, they were good, and it was meant for for the younger generation." Well, see, yeah, what the prequels were like weird because they would sort of be like they would come out, and the press screenings would generally like critique them fairly, I think, fair for the most part. And then the internet discourse would kick in, and then everybody who said it was great would fall in line. You know what I mean? With they wouldn't ever hold their own opinion. And then it would just become, and then that was what I still call the dark side of the Kevin Smith thing. Is everybody thought it was so hilarious to have these hyperbolic hot takes on everything after they saw Clerks. And I just don't think that did fandom a service at the time. But you know, what's good and bad about it? Something, if it was really that bad, they wouldn't be around today. Even riding on the coattails of the rest of Star Wars, they just wouldn't be around today. Like the holiday special is not really around today.
I think the universe is strong. Like Batman is strong. Batman can survive a Batman and Robin. Star Wars couldn't survive an Attack of the Clones or a Rise of the Skywalkers. Like, but when it comes to like Batman, like, you know, people will still talk about like the Dark Knight, right? But they don't, and I'll talk about Batman 89. But no one's really talking about Batman and Robin, like for the most part. Like you don't see like Batman and Robin was our generation's Batman. Like that's not really a thing. Whereas people are like you know, Phantom Menace is our generation Star Wars. Those people do exist. I'm just saying. I think it's a little bit better than that. I do know kids who are like, that was my barber. His Batman was Batman and Robin.
You're a comic book guy. You found it. Thesis driven research, I say. No, okay.
Not writing ever again for college. I did that. Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm an artist. I'm not doing it.
Fair enough. Yes, a lot of people were disappointed, but to say that most were so angry that they ripped a Georgia new one is bullshit. It was a loud minority, like just like with the sequels. Yeah, I think like in reality, the worst thing that happens is just complete ambivalence. Like that's like the true like bad thing. It's just ambivalence, and
just didn't care anymore. I was like,
yeah, and I went to Revenge of the Sith, went to all of them, and opening night of Revenge of the Sith. Though, but what happened was a large portion of people jumped ship. They just quit, but they were replaced, and that was in a weird way the very lucky thing about that for George Lucas was that what they were hoping to snowball and to retain and grow, and instead they really kind of just more or less stayed in place, and then it grew. It still grew though, but that's why when it came time to make these new Star Wars movies, they knew we already have all the males that we're going to have. We actually need to get women in Star Wars. We need to get the Hunger Games kids.
I still feel that Ahsoka should have been the main character of the sequel trilogy.
Jonathan's asking about that piece of art. Do I think that's like a Mortis thing? Gotta say, the Mortis thing exists. I think that
joke.
Yeah, well, that abstract piece of concept art of like that like weird. Remember that show where remember that show with like the little space girl and she talked to like Tom Bosley in it? Out of This World.
Out of This World.
Yeah, it looks like that thing from Out of This World, and I'm throwing it out there.
Would you like to swing on a star?
Yeah.
The mom was the chick from Saturday Night Fever.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, where I'm going with this is that weird shape thing. I don't know anything, but if I had to guess, I'm guessing that's a space arena where rich people go to watch gladiators fight. That's my working theory right now. And I would love to be informed about what it actually is. Do you think we'll get much of Beru and Kenobi? Asked Luke. She's there. I have not heard anything about like a huge scene with her or anything like that, but she's definitely there. She's there for some of the huge moments and stuff like that. It does sound like Uncle Owen
steps out. Obi-Wan steps in.
Yeah. Ooh. Just saying.
Like, remember when Goofy would stay home to take care of the house and let his wife go, and the milkman would come and kiss Goofy?
All right. How about this? So there's like one episode, right? Or there's like this one day, and Baru goes up to the cave because Owen, he's all about the farm. He's not about, growing the heart. And so so she needs a little bit of TLC, and she goes in there, and then Kenobi's like, she's like, I need this, Kenobi. Kenobi's like, I need this too, Baru. And then that force run power he has where he runs real fast. Well, he does that. But it's like the Palpatine thing. She steps out, and now she looks like old Baru after that one time of being force fucked by Obi-Wan Kenobi. And she steps out, and then that's Baru now. So and then the Jedi did it again. They weren't wrong. Arya says
another MakingStarWars.net exclusive.
It's an exclusive, you guys. And also Kitster and Wald are Grogu's parents. Arya, the only thing I hate about movies is how short they are. I imagine Kenobi being 2 hours because they turned it into a movie, whereas it's like 6 hours now because it's a show. Yeah, let's go with like 4 hours and some change. 6 episodes at about 45 minutes, whatever that happens to be. I can't do math. I never learned how. Jonathan says, do you think Taika's movie will delve into the Mortis gods? Now, I still, I still, like I said, I still think it's like the gladiator thing. But what if it has a more interesting spin? What if it is like a gladiator thing in a Mortis-like environment, and they're fighting all of these great like titans of Star Wars past? Beats me, you know what I mean? But that's me really jumping out on a limb here. I have no idea what it's about. So Kenobi is not woke, says Jonathan. Who cares if Reba is black, Asian, or from other ethnic groups? Exactly. Like that's what these people see somebody, and if it's not white, then it's a target for being called woke. It's the wokes. Sorry.
Reva could have been a starfished mole.
Fair enough. But Ben says anti-woke, anti-SJW verbiage is dog whistling rhetoric for the right wing. Stop repeating it. Yeah, there is like a point where I agree with you, and then there's the other side of it where like they take my stories and then use it, and then I'm the one, and in a weird way I feel responsible. That fucking dude blamed me.
Blame you.
He blamed me because he couldn't help himself.
Yeah, Ben Bamboo. I don't know if you've been following the show since last summer. I don't know, but we generally never really talked about it until this motherfuckers went out here, started fucking twisting shit in Jason's name and then blaming him. That's when I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and put up with that shit. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
Cowards.
Crawling Chaos says, all I know is that I had to go online back in 2000 to find hate against George. Real life comments, I was like, oh yeah, they were not as good as we hoped for. Not the hyperbole crap. And then Ben says, that's not true. The prequels were widely criticized by both fans and critics alike. The only demo that liked them were kids. See, that also isn't true, because the people versus George Lucas infuriated me. And the people versus George Lucas picked the worst people to defend it. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember the shit that they were saying, and me just being like so annoyed that it was. And once again, thesis driven research. That's the epitome of that documentary. But
see, the people versus George Lucas stole a bit from the Clerks cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you, the Clerks cartoon in 2001 already did this George Lucas bit, and it was funny.
Yeah,
like there's a court episode where Randall puts George Lucas on the stand for no fucking. It's really about Dante, and then he goes, "I called George Lucas in the stand," and he goes, "Is it true? And I want my money back." And then George goes, "All right, here," and he gives him his fucking money, and then, "Okay, good, now you're done," and he walks off. Like it's a good bit. It's
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we are done here. We will be back on Monday, doing the normal Star Wars show stuff. And so in case you don't get it,
Get the fuck out of my house.
Okay. Han Solo said get the fuck out of his house. But thank you to everyone for hanging out with us today and doing this really random show all of a sudden. And
I'm not doing it again. Oh, tomorrow we have to watch that fucking movie, don't we?
We don't have to do it tomorrow. We can do it Monday night. I think Monday night's better.
No, tomorrow's better.
Tomorrow's better? Okay.
today. 'Cause I sleep
Yeah.
early, so I'm old.
Yeah. Tomorrow afternoon we're gonna watch Revenge of the Sith, and me and Rob will figure out the time, and I'll post it on the
It'll be for
YouTube.
a very long time.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. We'll just hang out, and I'll put the link up to channel members, so channel members and Patreon supporters can jump in and jump on video and do whatever they want. But it'll be just for channel members. So if you guys want to come hang out tomorrow, it'll be a good time. And we'll see you tomorrow to watch Revenge of the Sith, and we'll see you Monday with the regular show. Okay, bye. Thanks, Rob.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on.